Sometimes I think this should just be part of the YouTube VOD as well, but anyway.
This is a special treat.
Yeah, I digress. All right. Fade in Black. Hey, everybody, it's Tuesday, September 24th, 2024. Welcome to the Giant Bombcast, episode 859, powered by NZXT. I'm your host, Jan Ochoa, powered by Lozenges. Joining me, co-captain of the ship, the hardest hard candy in game news. That's right. You keep him in your mouth. He's like an everlasting gobstopper. He's the jawbreaker and the headline breaker. Jeff Grubb.
I'm lozenged up. I am rock hard candy over here. Absolutely. Let's do this thing. So sweet, so hard.
We got the man that is obsessed with textures. That's right. He's feeling everything. He's squeezing everything. He's put the squeeze on Games Media from Games Beat, the bad boy of Games Media. Mike
Hi. I don't like when things gush in my mouth.
All right. We got the sweetest lad in on the team. The most innocent boy, our little cherub of the team. Turbo Shawn McDowell.
Yes, hi everybody. I'm the only one wearing my cute new shirt of trans icon Vivian. Mike,
Yeah,
what do you
that's
think
really
about
cool.
that?
What a
I
good
think
shirt.
I love that character. That's a great character. One of the
Damn right
best
it is.
Mario characters there. Yeah, she should come back and stuff.
Are you reading from a script right now, Mike? Because it sounds like
I like Paper Mario 1000 Your Door before. Well, it was always cool too, but before Jeff did.
Before it was
Still
woke,
needs to beat it.
Mike.
Before
Is
it
that?
was whoa.
Can't tell me to do that on podcasts. You gotta stop telling me to beat it on podcasts.
Do you guys ever worry that you don't know how to have conversations outside of podcasts? Because sometimes I have that.
I don't want to have conversations outside of podcasts.
Yeah.
I've been paid so frequently to have conversations now that it's like these words are worth money. And
You
if I'm
should
just
say,
going to waste them
"Bitch,
for
pay
free,
me" to anybody who comes up to you to talk.
exactly, just hand me $5,
You
and then
guys
I'll have a conversation.
Really need to get out more.
Oh, that's not happening.
No, well, I mean, for these two, well, no, Mikey's a little
I
social
got a
butterfly.
vibrant social life. I
Yeah.
talk to people. I get a little over it sometimes too, though. It's like, oh, these people. I have my Dr. Manhattan moment. Sometimes, like, oh, these people.
You just make yourself blue, get
What do
naked.
you mean these people?
These Earthlings.
You don't operate fast enough for Mike. How's everyone doing? How's everyone good? Everyone get naked, paint themselves blue, have an existential crisis on a moon?
Good. I went to the Cleveland Gaming Classic on Sunday, and I bought some old video games. No, Jeff left me to clean his house or something.
Steph's leaving later this week, and things have just kind of gotten hectic over here. And I'm like, and it's still not slowed down. She still hasn't left yet, but it's like, oh, it's just a lot happening with the kids in school and stuff like that. But I'm like, really wish I could have gone. Mike, seems like you got quite a haul though, right?
I got a good haul, and my brother still came, and my nephew. So it was a Minotti boys.
How was it for the kids?
They actually did a lot because there was a big free play arcade area, so they enjoyed that. They even had like some consoles set up. You know, the kids just like football. You would like this. They were really into Tecmo Bowl on the NES.
Ooh,
they were
really
playing
fun.
a lot of Tecmo Bowl, and they had a bounce house set up, and there was like the local Ghostbusters chapter was there, and they had an Ecto one and things like that. I think they were slightly less interested in watching me buying old video games.
Weird.
Yeah, right. But I got some stuff I can show it real quick here. This was one of the big gets. This obscure Dreamcast game called Egg.
Huh.
Rare Dreamcast game. Excited for that.
Did you get any jokes of like, can I offer you an egg in these trying times?
Yeah, I think I got it in chat when I showed it during my stream yesterday. Virtua Tennis Dreamcast. Disney's Dinosaur for the PlayStation 1. Why the hell not?
Sure.
Excited for this. A VMU still in the box for the
Whoa,
Dreamcast.
that's really cool,
sick.
actually. I love that.
this was another big one. Def Jam Fight for New York.
Yeah.
Awesome. Is that Xbox one? Yeah, that's great.
That's the Xbox version, baby.
I think we should play that soon anyhow.
Metal Black. Oh, sorry. Gran Turismo 4, and then it's the Ridge Racer 5, which I couldn't find for a while. And then, yeah. By the way, Jeff, you should really ask somebody about the future of Ridge Racer. See if they're cooking anything over there.
Can't talk
and this
about
one, Downhill Domination.
Yeah, Giant Bomb favorite.
Was looking for this, so excited to find that.
You know what's weird about that game? I have very fond memories of it, even though I've never played it, because I watched you all play it while on vacation.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, that's like a nice game with a nice time. I'm like, I've never touched it.
Yeah.
It seems cool.
Fun.
I haven't played it either. Just watched Jam play it. We were all like, why does this game look amazing? So, yeah, now I've got it. So, not a single GameCube game. Like, my GameCube collection is pretty much there now. I think I need WarioWare, Mega, Micro Games, whatever, maybe a couple other things, but, like, I'm almost set there.
Mike, you a big peripheral guy?
Like it's not like an always yes, always no. It depends. Like Dreamcast had good stuff because I really liked the sambas, as Jeff calls them.
I was gonna joke like they're called sambas, Mike, and then
the
get a
maracas
pop
or something.
there.
Migo, and the fishing controller for Sega Pro Bass Fishing, whatever.
Tim Walz's bass fishing controller, of course. Yeah.
DJ Hero, there's a game. By the way, love my DJ Hero, but not like I wouldn't call myself a peripheral guy.
I wonder if like you know once you complete a level of completion of your collection, if you were going to expand to peripherals, is why I asked.
Maybe I already have a good amount of the Donkey Kong bongos. There they are.
I got third-party bongos.
Wait, you have that so close to you?
What do you mean a good amount of them?
I found my Wii U like GameCube adapter thing that has the USB, and I was going to plug it in my computer so I could play the emulated Donkey Kong Jungle Beat with the third-party bongos. I'm sick.
I think because I got two from back when me and my brothers would play Donkey Konga, and then somehow I got a third one. I may have like bought it like cheap at some point when it was like old, but nobody cared about it yet. So something like that. Yeah. Those are all, any game that uses the bongos is a good game, by the way.
I will say I'm fascinated by this Dreamcast game I've never heard of.
Right, yeah, it's supposed to be good. It's an action adventure game. It looks interesting. I'll probably stream some Egg here soon.
It's Elemental Gimmick Gear, or EGG Egg. It looks like just from screenshots, I know nothing about it. It looks like something a Toe Jam and Earl-ish, but then you get into one-on-one like fighting game style fights.
I'm gonna play some Egg very soon.
I'm mad because now every time I go in my fridge and I get hungry for eggs, I'm gonna say to myself, I'm gonna have some Elemental Gimmick Gears, and no one else in my life is gonna care. They're gonna think I'm losing it. They're gonna not. It's not gonna be funny.
That's why we're your real friends.
Yeah, okay. I'll text you all every time I think for right. There we go.
Dan has been texting me nonstop to come to Kyoto because
I think that's very funny because for one, you know it's annoying him. Like, you know, he's like hesitant to open Discord.
Right.
He's like, shit, I'm gonna bother him, and we don't care. We just think it's funny. But every time Dan opens Discord, it resends him saying, "Jan, you should come to Kyoto," with a picture of Japanese buzzballs. And it's probably been like 20 times now.
It's like a perpetual loop. It does that every time he opens.
Every time he loads up Discord, it's like, oh,
Jeff,
you still have this in your queue.
Could be from any ethnicity. What are you talking about?
Well, the fact that he's saying to come to Kyoto, and then it's like the price tags are in Japanese, but that did inspire me. Well, I was pre-inspired. Can you believe I had a small little thing at the apartment, and no one wanted to partake in this Biggie Buzzball with me, huh?
Why do you still have that? How's it not drunk yet?
It's way more neon green than I was even thinking. Like, I've seen them in person, but it's like so neon.
Well, here's the thing. This is the second one I bought, Shawn, because I was like the first one by myself.
It's just a plastic, by the way. It's like a Sprite bottle. It's
okay.
For folks that are audio listeners, this is what would you guys say? Like the size of a small volleyball.
I think it's 1.5 liters, Jan.
It's like 1.5 bocce balls.
Yeah, 1.5 bocce balls.
Yeah.
It's like a comical potion, a mana potion.
It like Jan holding it right now. He looks like a cartoon villain holding a bomb.
Oh, yeah.
The duck pin bowling balls. It's that size.
Right. An easy point of reference for so many people, Grub.
I bought a Capcom sign.
I'm proud of you, Mikey.
Can you get drunk off of that, Mike?
Yes.
Yes.
Off
That's how good Capcom is.
Okay. All right.
Wait, is are Buzzballs hyphy related?
No, they're not.
Okay.
But if they were, holy smokes, not only would I be supporting the Bay Area and women. Here's my pitch, Mike.
Yes.
I'm going to need you to co-sign this with me, okay?
Oh, okay.
We need to add more alcohol to Pixar Pier.
The Pixar Pier, they already have a very good bar there.
Buzz Lightyear balls. Huh? Mikey?
I mean,
That's good.
you're going to love my Buzz Lightyear balls.
Yeah.
Sound
I
like
don't know.
bad.
I got drunk in Pixar Pier because my friend snuck in a bunch of gin and a Sprite bottle. That was fun.
Hell yeah.
That's not a code grandma. What's that a code of?
That's a code Cool Uncle, I think.
Yeah.
I still think I should make a game called Code Grandma.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a really
game.
good idea.
I'm going to need an adult in the room to explain alcohol content to me because
Oh,
this says
not this again,
15%, right? What is
15%.
that? Yeah.
Pretty good. That's stronger than just about any beer.
Oh yeah,
by
yeah. That's like
significant
that's a
amount.
cocktail. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a cocktail.
Okay. Okay. So this is going to do more than a White Claw and break the law.
Yes.
Yeah.
Significantly more than a White Claw.
When you get a mixed drink, Jan,
Right.
it is 1.5 liters of that.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. See, this is why I have you all around. This is I just give off the vibe and facade of someone incredibly put together, but quickly we're seeing the facade is breaking apart at the seams.
I realize a lot of people don't know how this saga started because it happened during the Discord town hall. So some people may not know that we had to
happened, didn't it?
Jan about alcohol, like ABV, APV, whatever it is.
Alcohol by volume, ABV.
By volume, ABV, yeah. I don't pay attention to that. I just drink it. So
Sure. Yeah.
Fantastic. Boyos, unless anyone has anything else to bring up.
No, I don't think so. Just I am kind of mad that like fall won't start, and it's put me in a real bad mood.
The trees have turned a little bit at least.
Yeah,
It's
the
just
tree,
not
the
cool
colors,
out.
but yeah, it's just not cool enough. I was like trying to put out Halloween decorations, and I was sweating, and it made me real mad.
It was hoodie and shorts weather for us yesterday.
Okay.
So I
Oh,
was like,
okay.
it's
That's
weather
good news
good.
because your weather becomes my weather.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah.
Okay. Hopefully that's going to happen. I do have a question actually. I did get one of those 12-foot skeletons. It's the Jack Skellington one.
Hell yeah.
Oh, damn.
It's right. We got it from the Home Depot or whatever it was.
Of course. As you
When do you guys think I should put it out? Because I wanted to put it out already, but Steph's like, it's kind of early. What if it's like kind of
Next
gets worn
Tuesday.
down?
Yeah, I've seen one out in the wild already, so like people are doing it. You won't be the craziest person.
Yeah. The fact that they're already selling it, Grub, enables you to just put it out.
He put it on sale, right?
I bought it on sale last year.
Off-season.
Thank you. Yes.
I remember.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mike remembers. Yes.
See, a skeleton is not inherently tied to Halloween because you can be a weird person and just put it out at any time.
Right. To have proof of that, I think Patrick Klepek has kept his 12-foot skeleton out like year round.
Patrick Klepek, though.
Yeah, I'm not that weird, but I think he like dresses up like for all the seasons or something. At least he was doing that. Or at least he said he would do that. But I'm not worried about that so much. And I'm not worried about anything. It's Steph who's like, I don't want it to like get like blown over in the wind. There's storms coming and stuff like that. I imagine like I'm gonna have to anchor this thing down no matter what.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It sounds like she just doesn't want you to put it up quite yet, so maybe give it a week.
it was yeah. She's definitely because she's like, oh, I found this deal. Like she did all the work on that stuff, so she's just making sure the thing gets taken care of.
I think
it'll be fine.
socially acceptable times to put up holiday decorations is like the month of. So once you get into October
Put it up
1st,
as soon as she leaves. All right, there we go.
Are you gonna keep him up like through Christmas time since
It's
Jack's
appropriate.
Yeah.
I am thinking I probably will. We'll have to like dress
Get a
him
big
up a little
Santa hat.
different, but
Yeah.
why not?
Santa head.
That'll
Jack
be fun.
Skellington,
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't know you were so big into the Christian faith, Grub.
That's well. Listen, he is my savior.
I did see that night before Christmas video game for PS2 at the Cleveland Gaming.
That had to be
Classic.
expensive.
It wasn't that expensive, but no manual, and I was like, I'm not buying it without the manual.
Yeah.
Sorry, Joe.
No, it's okay. I was just like, but like any tips for like securing the thing beyond like the anchors they give? Like, should I?
You need a young priest and an old priest.
Okay.
Something
Something
blue.
blue. Yeah, I got. This is
Lozenges.
locked down. I'm remembering everything he's saying.
Yeah, that's
You need
right.
a lot of lozenges. Now, I know that sounds like a weird word, but it's just cough drops.
You can't put that in the canon as you are explaining it to everybody else. Damn, now Shawn has to include the pre-show in the audio version.
All right, I'm gonna do a poll. I can't be the person who's never heard of lozenges.
Oh, buddy, you don't want to do that,
Mike.
Hey, look, it's fine. Trust me. I know I'm weird. If it turns out I'm weird about this too, it's fine.
Mike, we're gonna have chef reactions on the voicemail dump truck next week, and did you lose? Were you weirder than Dan that episode?
There's no.
I think that episode Dan was weird. So that's where
no,
I was
thought
thinking,
it was the fruit.
Ones?
I thought it was the fruit who put him over.
Okay,
that's
I think
weird because there's no.
That's weird.
The fruit thing is just I don't like to eat fruit. Dan tried to cook eggshells into a goo. Come on.
Everyone
it's just
knows
not
that.
The same.
Mike, everyone knows that Dan's an idiot. We all are aware of this
better.
fact, but
I
he grew as a human being and knows how to cook eggs now. Not much else.
The sun had gravity recently.
You want to describe an apple to me, Mike?
Man, he really did spell it lozenges.
How do you spell lozenges?
There's an O instead. I think I remember it because Dan told more stories about his weirdness, and so I think Chef Reactions and the chat at that time voted for Dan. Then recently, there's been a lot of like Mikey issues, and Mike has been winning the weirder poll recently. And I think it's gonna go back and forth like Joker and Batman forever. So
I think the difference is Dan admits many years on when he has done something incredibly stupid, and you're holding steadfast with your weirdness, Mike.
I think I always admit it. The lozenges one is throwing me because I really have just never heard that before, and I getting crushed in the poll. So clearly
74-8.
I just never called them anything but cough drops before. Just never heard another term for them.
That's fine. That's completely
I think
fine.
I do remember like the first time in like 4th grade where the kid that would always have the whole bag of cough drops being like, you want a lozenge? And I'm like, and then he showed me the bag and it said lozenges on there. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, that explains that. That's the other word for cough drops.
How many times in my life people have said, do you need a lozenge? And I've been like, what? And then they just go, you want a cough drop? Yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah.
God, I'm trying to think of other names for things now to just surprise Mike with. Like,
no words.
I think it's hard
to
like
you do. But it's
hard to like find one because it's got like because it just wouldn't occur to you. And I think Mike, this is a weird one because I thought Mike would know lozenge, not just because of Dr. Dad. Like that's one everyone's heard lozenge.
But I mean, it's right there. Like, how do you not?
Yeah. All right. Well, this is a video game podcast.
Is it because it dislodges like the mucus?
Yeah, let's just say yeah.
Yeah, no, that's good. I like that.
Yeah, I'm okay with
Congrats,
that.
Mike. Correct.
Yeah. That was
funny.
That was a very epic connection. Just like Mikey, you and I are connected. That you and I have been playing Epic Mickey.
This is exactly the kind of game that needs to be remastered.
Yes.
When Epic Mickey was first coming out for the Wii. In fact, my Wii is the one with my Epic Mickey sticker still on it in my Wii mode here.
Cute.
Yeah.
Is that the one you used to play Alone in the Dark?
For Alone in the Dark, right?
Incredible.
Yeah.
You need a little totem to help you feel safe in the darkness.
Well, I remember, God, they also sold the nunchuck that was shaped like a paintbrush. I mean, what's wrong?
I just accidentally hit the bleep button and it upset Jan, and I'm sorry.
Okay,
I thought I
like, what did I accidentally say? I was like, nunchuck. What does that sound like? Nunchuck. What did I do? Oh, we can't chuck nuns. That's not good for the Catholics.
Hey, speaking about nuns, watch that Sydney Sweeney Immaculate movie. Whew. Anyway, go on.
But I really wanted to love this game back when it was coming out. Obviously, like Mickey platformer by super important game designer Warren Spector. There was a good amount of hype for it, and I played it, and it was good. It just didn't blow me away. It didn't feel amazing. Big part of that is it was on the Wii only, which we all know is a bad console.
I'm not going to agree that it's a bad console. I think it is a bad console for some 3D platformers.
It's a bad console that has good games on it.
It has good games. I think it's detrimental that this game, which was very much designed for the Wii, you take it off the Wii and it's just better. It's just better now.
Fair.
But aside from improving the controls and the camera, it does look a lot better, right? It was an ugly game on the Wii back then. And part of that was some artistic decisions because the whole thing is supposed to be like this kind of decaying paint world. So there was a lot of greens and everything was kind of like corroded. It was like intentional, but especially on like the Wii, blurry non-HD stuff, kind of chugging along there, it always kind of looked very ugly. So just having that in HD and having it look smoother, the game is a lot more vibrant. It's a lot easier to look at. But yeah, it's just, and I'm not super far into this. I'm just a couple hours in, but you're already getting introduced to all the mechanics. And the kind of big thing here is you have thinner, which can delete certain areas. You have paint, which can paint in certain areas and bring them back in. So that's like the kind of core gameplay mechanics. You can find secrets like that. You can create platforms, or you'll like find gears and rotating platforms. You can kind of thin out the gear so that it stops in certain places. So you can do some fun things with that. It's also kind of tied into this simplified morality system that's in the game, where generally thinner is kind of more of the evil choice, and paint is usually the good choice. So you can use thinner to delete enemies, or you can use the paint just to turn them into friends. And there's usually a lot of binary morality choices like that. They're not super deep or anything like that. And this is kind of more Spectre trying to bring a bit of that immersive sim element.
Where everything had the morality system.
Paragon.
Renegade.
Yeah. Renegade. It was that. Yep. It was exactly that kind of stuff. Everything was really inspired by KOTOR, light side, dark side.
I'm imagining Renegade Mickey, and it's just the biker game I played, which is
Ride to Hell.
Ride to Hell Retribution, but Mickey.
Yeah.
Just like angry angled eyebrows.
Yes, anger eyebrows. Yeah. And a biker vest.
Kirby-fied, yeah.
It's just a fun 3D platformer. I do enjoy like all the little, it's like, oh, you're in a place and there's a Dumbo ride, but it's real fucked up, and it's kind of fun to see the fucked up Dumbo ride. It still has some of its original problems, especially early on. There's a lot of like, we're gonna stop and tell you what to do and explain a mechanic, and I can't remember, but I'm hoping that slows down a bit. But it's a lot of side quests in the game. The side quests, because again, they're trying to RPGify it. So there's a lot of people like, Mickey, I need you to do blah, blah, blah. So then you got to go do blah, blah, blah. And then you got to talk to them again, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed the couple hours I've spent with it too. I think maybe Mike and I are around the same point. But I do remember in the original version kind of being thrown off by the pacing of the game of like, we're going to hold your hand. And hey, did we tell you if you do bad stuff, it's bad. But if you do good stuff, it's really good. I checked this game out in a demo earlier this year. And the dev was very nervous about the reception and how the controls would translate. And thankfully, they translate super well. They've added like a dash, right, Mike? I don't remember the dash being
I don't know.
In the original.
Yeah, I wonder, because the dash feels very good here. Yeah, it's been so long since I played the original. But I'm glad that dash is here, because it's one of those things. I like when platformers have a weird mechanic that's meant for one thing, like maybe dodging things, but you actually just use it to go faster. I think the backdash in Symphony of the Night is kind of a gold standard, or the long jump in Mario 64, right? So it's like, oh, I'm just going to do the long jump everywhere I go kind of a thing. So yeah, I'm like mashing that dash button.
Forgive me if you guys have addressed this and I missed it.
Sure.
What kind of platformy game is it? Is it like a Mario, or is it more of like a Ratchet and Clank?
It's
kind
of
both.
So like, and especially so before, like you had your pointer, and that's how like the Wiimote, and you would point and you would shoot the thinner of the paint. Here it is just a cursor in the center of your screen, and you kind of move the camera around, and that's how you aim things. So it's a little Ratchet and Clanky in that sense, because you are aiming and shooting, but it's also very collectathon-y in getting stuff and right now, but also relatively linear. It's not open as much.
Shawn, I would actually say it's a little bit like the single player levels in Splatoon.
Sure.
Oh, okay.
Where, painting is a big mechanic and everything.
Right. There's like probably some hidden collectibles to get like around the corner or something.
Exactly.
Pins.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I have a question. Would you guys say that it's a soulless devotion to the Disney IP and it's a problem?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, who's Mickey? I've never heard of this character.
Oh, I'm so glad Dan's not here.
Not as popular as Mario.
Rosalina, I know her.
Yeah, Rosalina.
Well, Rosalina is world renowned. Especially to anybody over the age of 45. They all can't stop talking about Rosalina. They don't know who Minnie Mouse is, though. Don't bother.
I'm sorry, who's that, Mike?
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Obscure character from olden times.
So like, has it gone from a game that was kind of middling to like, oh, this is pretty good now, or it's like fully kind of turning into a good game?
I think it's fully good. Like, I didn't have any problems with the original game other than having like feeling fatigue over waggling and pointing around.
Okay,
yeah,
sure,
I thought people liked the original decent.
The original game was always good. I think people got really excited for it, especially since before it was even announced, concept art leaked, and the concept art was even wilder than the final games. It was like a half Terminator monstro with a decaying spaceship Earth from Epcot on its back. It was like, this is like looking real wild. And there's obviously some of that there, like with fucked up Dumbo, but it doesn't go quite as intense. At the time, a big deal was the fact that Oswald the Lucky Rabbit is in the game, and that's Walt Disney's cartoon character that predated Mickey. He lost the rights for him to Universal, and that's when his company made Mickey to replace him. And around, like, not too long before this is when they got Oswald back from Universal. It's some deal that involved like trading a sportscaster or something to them. I forget exactly what it was. So like this was like the first time we had Oswald in official Disney media again in a long time. So that was kind of exciting then.
Yeah, this created a lot of fervor for the Disney adult to big Disney fan community. In the parks specifically, Mike, I don't know if you remember, but like the Oswald rabbit ears were selling like hotcakes.
Oswald was everywhere. There was a California Adventure photo op with Oswald for a good while that I don't know why they got rid of because it was always very popular. And Oswald's shown up at some places. I think they even done a new cartoon here or there. So yeah, Oswald hangs around now.
So Oswald's the reason Al Michaels stopped doing ABC football and started doing NBC football. Is that?
I think that that was part of the it was the part of the Al Michaels trade. It was Al Michaels for Oswald the Lucky Rabbit.
Al Michaels is the best sportscaster of all time, though, so that's worth it.
Okay. Sure. The only thing that slightly puts me off, and this is just a carryover from the original game, is that they kind of factor in every single thing you do into your Mickey morality meter. So
the MMM.
The MMM. So sometimes I'll occasionally accidentally use paint thinner on an enemy versus painting him to be friendly, and then like I'll see that meter like tick down. I'm like, oh shit, I'm evil now. I feel that I put one arm into the leather jacket, and I don't know how they can necessarily balance that in a better way, but it is a solid platformer. The dash is a pretty good air dash. I don't think I'll spend more time in it, but I do like that this has the secret 2D levels where they'll play around with the space and like, oh, now you're back in Steamboat Willie world or whatever.
Yeah. And I'm a sucker for a 3D platformer where you have like your attack is also a little bit of a jump extender, basically like Astro Bot, right? So you have your spin attack, right? Very Mario Galaxy coded. But you could do a double jump. If you do a double jump and a spin attack, that often gives you just a little bit of extra juice to get to somewhere, maybe even sequence break a little bit. Like there's one part where I was supposed to fix the fucked up Dumbo ride first, so I can then fix the fucked up teacups. And I was able to just kind of actually get to the teacup section before that. And the game was a little confused for a bit, but I felt good about myself.
Speaking about Astro Bot, Shawn, I see that you have been playing some Astro Bot.
That's right, Jan. You might say I beat it.
Oh, yeah, Shawn beat it. Shawn beat
it. No, yeah, I finished Astro Bot sometime last week. I don't remember when. But, I was taking my sweet time with that there because I was 100%ing it as I was going. And because Grub wouldn't shut up about the ending and everything, and so I was constantly at risk of spoilers, I need to just get to that ending there and see what was happening. Yeah. So first of all, that ending is amazing. We still kind of want to do like a spoiler cast thing at some point, right? So yeah, we'll get into more details there, but I think what Nikki said, the Avengers assemble moment that happens there, that is real good. It's just really fun to see how that all comes together, and it wasn't the way I thought it would happen, and so that just made it even better. It was so cool. Yeah, Jan?
What is for folks that like don't know, right, about like the Avengers moment, or what is another point of reference?
Have you never seen Avengers, Jan?
Oh no, I'm the most Marvel MCU person around.
Okay, I feel like
definitely.
I feel like the Avengers is the most common denominator on Earth right now. I thought that would be a safe one.
The final level of Elite Beat Agents.
That's one everyone knows.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, Mike.
Yeah. Jack gets it.
Let's go.
Everyone is
Jack
here.
Flash.
It's
in the original.
It's like the Continental Congress. It's like all these important people coming together and
no one knows how government actually works.
Shit.
It's like the Forever Red episode in Power Rangers. Where 10 generations of Red Rangers get together.
Or the Fave Red Starbursts. There you go. Yeah.
But
now
it's like
the end of the Muppet movie where all the Muppets, even the Sesame Street ones, are there with the rainbow.
It's like the end of Who Framed Roger Rabbit, where everyone gets together.
That's better. I'll give you that one. That's good.
Okay. Shawn, Astro Bot. Yeah.
Anyways, having finished Astro Bot, I do think where I settled when we talked about in the Bombcast, because I was only a couple worlds in when we talked about it on the review cast, but later on the Bombcast, I think where I settled was with the difficulty. I just don't like the lack of ramping up in difficulty. It's more the main core line through the game is extremely easy, and then they separated out the difficult levels that you can optionally choose to do. But I think, Grub, you were the one who was talking about this, where your kids were having difficulty with the bosses.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I noticed that especially with the final main world boss, where I was thinking to myself, man, there's a lot of mechanics here that I could see a kid getting tripped up on because it's not super clear what you need to do at any given point in time. And so I think my problem with the difficulty is that it ends up feeling a little spiky, where you have very easy platforming levels. Then you get a boss where I can see that someone who's not as familiar with platformers, or someone who's trying it for like their first game, when Lucy got that interview with Team Asobi, they said, yeah, we made this so that could be someone's first game. And so I see that, with the easy levels, but then it feels odd to me that the bosses do have many more mechanics. The difficulty is a lot higher. I just feel like that natural progression really could have helped smooth things over there, and have like a pretty easy boss in the first world, and then a progressively more difficult one, and then have the levels do the same. Because I think the challenge levels, that's an example of challenge levels are challenge levels, and I like them separated out that way. But I think the secret levels are where the latter half of worlds and like the latter worlds themselves should be difficulty wise. There's a little more going on without it being the super difficult platforming challenge. I just think they could have smoothed out that curve a little bit. And that's kind of my main complaint with the game.
I felt a little bit ashamed that I had some trouble with some of the boss fights, because like you're right, Shawn, the ramp up to that in every other world was fairly easy, other than the separated challenge levels that sometimes, specifically I think the fourth boss world, where you have to deal with some of the time stopping mechanics, I was getting tripped out on. Maybe
the time stopping, that's a fun mechanic, but I could also see that being a little difficult to wrap your head around if you're not
it was
directly knowing what to do there.
Watching the kids play, it was they're like, I understand what this is immediately, and I understand how to use it, but the idea of like seeing these super fast darts coming, and timing that jump, and timing the time stop for that was like a bit much for them. They were like way overwhelmed.
Yeah, that seems like an example of something, again, that spikiness of like, I see what you want me to do here, but maybe it was like a bit too much of a ramp up rather than that gradual increase.
Game is very forgiving, very good checkpoints. I think people will try to like butt their head through it a couple times. I have heard stories of people like, oh, I tried it 2 times and I don't like the way it feels to fail. I'm just gonna put it down. But my kids were like, no, I'm gonna keep trying, and then eventually start crying and call for dad to come help. So
that's the other thing where this didn't really bother me, but it kind of annoyed me as someone who likes 100%ing, is the fact that's insta death for anything. Did start to bother me when I was trying to explore and try to collect collectibles and everything, because if you go really far out of your way and say, oh, is there something over there, and then an enemy hits you that you didn't see, or you obviously if you fall off a platform, that makes sense for it to be instant death, but even just an enemy hitting you when you weren't expecting, it's like, oh, now you gotta go all the way back to the checkpoint. I feel like that kind of discourages exploration a little bit. So I think the Mario 3 hits is the better way to go. Other games have it where you'll have 2 hits or something. Even just 2 hits, I think, could have alleviated that a little bit.
Yeah, I think it mostly works here to the point where it's like, I get what you're saying, but I wouldn't necessarily change it for this game, but there are some pain points because of the 1-hit kills that I've definitely noticed.
I think even having it as an option, the lack of options, I think, is probably the problem here. Where you could just have that as like, insta kill could be on the like have like 4 difficulty levels, and then insta kill is like on the hard, not the hardest, but like on hard, and then normal is like 2 hits, easy is like you can't die or something like that. I think just having a little more accessibility there even could smooth over if you don't want to have that more gradual progression.
It definitely reminds me of the complaint that I've developed now after playing a lot more of it, and that is I want an option to turn off the edge protection where when your character runs up to the edge of a platform and you can't run off. The game just won't let you run off because it's like, hey, no, we're going to stop you here and stop your momentum because we're going to save you from yourself. And while that probably should be the default because they want this to be some people's first game, and it's not usually a problem. When I was playing some of these challenge levels and I was trying to go as fast as possible just because that's how I was enjoying playing those, getting to the edge and having my character's momentum completely stop when I was trying to carry that momentum through the run off, a very annoying feeling. So I'm like, please just let me turn that off, especially when we're going to be doing these speed run levels. That would be fantastic, but I just had to get used to it, but I just, no matter what, when it happened, it felt bad.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Having it a couple times. Even one of the times where I did get hit by an enemy when I didn't want to, it's because like I got a weird stop short and then got hit by something I was trying to run away from.
That stop short is a bad feeling.
Shawn, no, go ahead, Mike.
Do you think we're going to hear about the speedrun levels during the State of Play later today?
I hope so. I think there's a chance. Yeah. I mean, it's been a couple of weeks. I mean, if it's not now, it's just going to be on its own somewhere. Why not put it in the State of Play? I really think there's a good chance.
Circle back to it, please. Remind people to check out Astro Bot if they haven't already. Shawn, are you going to try and platinum it now that you beat it?
Yeah, because I did enjoy 100%. I did kind of just want to see the ending so I could talk about it a little and everything. But I was enjoying my time with it a lot, 100%. Maybe it sounded like I was really having some gripes there. But no, like I said in our review cast, they are nitpicks. As a platformer, is a fantastic platformer. I just wish some things were smoothed over. And, even though this is technically the third Astro Bot game, or like third and a half, because they had the PS4 tech demo as well. This is the first of this kind of game that they made where it's just a traditional standalone 3D Mario platformer, full length and no gimmicks. And for that, it's incredible that they reached this quality on like the first effective time around. And so maybe we have like a Mario Galaxy situation where they just say, oh, we could have, adjusted this, adjusted that, added more options here. And then, Astro Bot 2 is that incredible universal game that is just an all-time legend. So that's what I'd like to see. And I think they got a great start here.
Can I check my trophies in the PlayStation app? Because I want to see this
app, yes.
Yeah, you should be able to.
Yeah,
probably just go to my profile.
Can't do
here.
it on their site. I tried that one.
All right. I have exactly 1 platinum, and it is also Astro Bot.
It's like
that is
me.
my first platinum as well.
About that stuff, huh?
Yeah, really super. It just doesn't do anything.
Did you ever care about like achievement score stuff?
For
like
a hot second, not really.
Yeah, for like maybe year 1, and it was like, oh, we're gonna go rent that Avatar Last Airbender game and get 1,000 points right away. We're bad.
Actually, it was never even that, because I never cared about getting 1,000. It was just like there were a few games where it's like, oh, that's a cool achievement. I would try to do that one thing. Crackdown, Geometry Wars
with Crackdown 1.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's what it is for me, where I don't care about achievements much because, well, I mostly play on PC and Steam achievements don't mean anything. So when it comes to platinums, it's only games I really, really love. Like, I think I have the Persona 5 Royal one because you get in one playthrough. Or games that have like a good trophy list. Like I thought Spider-Man 1 had a pretty good one, so I have it there too. But otherwise, yeah, same as you guys. Don't really care.
Wonderful. Mike Minotti, do you feel like you are any close to platinuming Dark Souls 2?
No, I'm kind of close to the end here. I got right up to the end, and that's like when I was told it was a good time to do the DLCs. And there's 3 DLCs in Dark Souls 2. And they're kind of bullshit. It's kind of a lot.
Definitely, I checked in a couple of times while you were streaming it, and it seemed like you were in the "this is bullshit" mode.
Yeah, there's so, each of them have 3 bosses, and the bosses are hard. That's fine. It's the levels are also pretty difficult, and it keeps doing that thing that I complain about with this game, where it's like here's like a bunch of difficult enemy type, but here's like 4 of them. Deal with that. Like, well, your game's not even really meant for that, so that's fun. But I've entered what people are calling the worst area, maybe any Souls game. It's this just kind of barren snowfield with a few visual markers to help guide you. But half the time, there's a snowstorm, so you can't see anything but pure white. And sometimes in the snowstorm, a horsey will come and charge at you, and the horsey is very strong and has a lot of health. The fans affectionately call this place Horsefuck Valley.
Oh.
And I understand why.
HFG.
Yeah. Those horses, they just go at it with you, and it is awful. And what's
it's
terrible?
a different kind of charging. I see. All right.
Well, so these horses are, they're relatively tough enemies, and there's just a point where it's like, fight two of them now at the same time. And again, it's like, well, that's so much harder. That's more than twice as hard, video game, because sometimes they're just in a mood where they're just, their patterns are perfectly aligned, where you don't have a single moment to get a hit in or to heal yourself or anything like that. At one point, there were 3 of them, and I basically just stopped. It's like, well, there's nothing I can do about this. And then after all of that, there's no bonfire. It's just like, now go fight the boss, I guess. And then the boss is just the first boss from the DLC, except after you fight him for like a minute, a second one shows up. And I was just like, oh, I'm getting real freaking over it. I was getting kind of over it. I was even like finally using NPC summons just for this area, because people were like, oh, they meant for it to be played that way. I'm like, oh, okay. And like, they weren't that much of a help, but at least like that was the first time I got to the boss even, was doing that. It was the first time in playing Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls 2, I think, where I encountered a boss during a stream, and I was just like, I'm not doing this right now. I guess that's not true. There's that chariot boss from earlier in the game, which was just basically a fun puzzle boss. But at the time, I just wanted to do something else, because again, the mob there was annoying. I tell you what, that's like that's the roughest thing about going back to these games, is just the run backs, right? Like Elden Ring is just like, we're just gonna put a bonfire or Stake America in front of every boss, right? Because like if a boss is hard and frustrating, as long as when I die, I can go fight the boss again, it's fine. But dying and then knowing that I'm gonna have to go and deal with like 10 more horse fuckers in a snowy field that I can't see anything in half of the time, every time that I die, it begins to wear on you a bit. I'm still enjoying Dark Souls 2. I think it's a good video game. I understand why it has the reputation it has as being the kind of most bullshitty one.
I'm sorry, Mike. I just imagine you in your Arby's hat, just like sighing as you walk
in the wilds of Minnesota, like with the snow coming down and a horse attacking them.
Yeah, fending off horses.
Yeah,
the horses have electric attacks, by the way. I don't know why. Yeah. They're electric horses.
I don't know how I came across this game, and I'm not 100% sure how to talk about this. I deferred to the Giant Bomb Brain Trust yesterday afternoon to perhaps workshop some visual novel dumb show names, because I kind of want to play this on the site.
This is a porn game, Jan?
I don't know if this is... Good idea, Grub. I don't know if this is a porn game. I don't know if this is one of those. So I again, I don't know how this came across my recommended. I have checked out Class of 09, The Flip Side. And this is apparently the conclusion to a trilogy of the Class of 09 series, where it is a fully voice-acted visual novel. And the first game touts that it is the anti-visual novel, where instead of playing as like a nameless dude that you never see, you play as the cool girls in the scenarios. And let me just read the Steam description for Class of 09, The Flip Side. The final chapter of the Class of 09 visual novel series, this time from a different perspective. Join Nicole's best friend, Jekka, as you help her navigate the pitfalls of post-grad life. See what 2009 was truly like in this fully voice interactive sitcom. And I guess if you're framing it as an odd interactive sitcom, it kind of works that way. I think the baby's handful of visual novels that I've played through are kind of more, I guess the ramp up is easier before you get to the weird stuff, and this is just like, no, here's this hodgepodge of the year 2009 and anime. all in your face. And
Yeah, just one screenshot is just an actual real life picture of a house.
Yes, that's why I love.
Also, what is this Steam review that says the feet side?
Well, I haven't gone to the feet side yet.
I did a Control F in the Steam reviews, and feet has come up multiple times.
That was the first thing you went to, huh?
Well, I saw feet side. I'm like, I got to see what's going on here.
Okay.
Yeah. Also, as I understand, content warnings all over the place for this whole series of games, because as they do get a little bit crass, they do kind of handle very serious subject matter. You can see that from besides the feet stuff in the Steam reviews, there's some familial drama happening.
Yeah, also the UI in this game is two different buttons you press, one of which is a sidekick cell phone, the other being a pill bottle.
Yeah.
Are they lozenges?
This is one of those games where maybe we won't play it on the site and we'll just talk about it on a podcast, but it's interesting.
Okay.
It's weird.
Now that I looked at the rest of the series on Steam, this has been like in my recommended on Steam because I do like visual novels and
so you're just as broken as I am, Shawn, is why.
Oh yeah, exactly. No, but I played so much like Danganronpa and stuff like that, Ace Attorney, that eventually you get recommended this stuff. I was like, what the hell is this game?
You played Doki Doki Literature Club.
I did play that as well. Yeah.
4 or 5 years ago, and then all these games won't stop getting recommended to you.
I think that was like 8 years ago or something.
No, it was not 8 years.
No, it was 7 years ago. It came out because I was working at Best Buy the year that the Switch came out, and I remember listening to an IGN podcast where Miranda Sanchez talked about it. Yeah.
2017. Oh no.
2017.
I wonder why. So like this last game trilogy has mixed Steam reviews, whereas the first one is overwhelmingly positive.
Yeah, maybe they didn't like the protagonist switch.
I was looking at the reviews, and they're just like the writing isn't as good.
Yeah, second one is also overwhelmingly positive. I guess I wonder what the big Class of 09 fans would say about
visual novel fans are often extremely critical though, so I don't know. You kind of do have to take reviews with a grain of salt a little bit.
The first game here has a screenshot of a dude, and he's just a big guy wearing an Xbox 360 headset and an OG Xbox shirt, so that's incredible.
Fantastic.
Okay. Sorry, some of these reviews are bumming me out, actually.
Yeah.
And they're the positive ones.
Nice.
I'm not going to read the review because it really bummed me out, but it's from a reviewer, and I think this is one of the character. Sucking Jekka's Feet is the name of the person reviewing the game. So I'm like, I'm just going to close this now.
Oh, no.
Yeah. If you're a little sensitive to stuff, maybe the series is not for you at all.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely like a lot of stuff in visual novels as a genre, and this stuff is touching on. This game seems like it's touching on a lot of that.
Yeah. God, there was a food one like that kind of got messed up real quick that we played on a UPF once. I forget what that one was called.
Battleship Brigade or a different one?
No, Battleship Brigade was just like that was a good game. Okay. No, this food game was good too. It was just got weird really quick, but that's all visual.
Was it Honey Pop?
No, it was not Honey Pop.
It's a match 3. How dare you? It's not a visual novel.
Anyway, Shawn, you have been checking out a game called Bloodless.
Yeah, this is the one that I forced Jeff to play on UPF the other day.
Yeah.
So I did talk about it back when the demo came out for Steam Next Fest, and I have only played through the demo area here in the full game, so I don't have a lot to add to that, so I'll keep it brief. Because I unless I miss something, your demo progress does not transfer, unfortunately, even though it's the same stuff. But yeah, Bloodless is you play as a samurai who is revisiting her homeland, and she feels regret for how much violence she has caused as a samurai, so now she has gone non-violent. She uses her arm guards to parry attacks and tries to non-lethally take down her opponents. And it really stuck out to me because of the visual style. I describe it as a Neo Geo Pocket color style game. Extremely specific.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's very monochrome, either black and white or just, like black in a single color with splashes of colors throughout. Like a character, like on the Neo Geo Pocket Color, a character will be in black and white. But if their color is red, like all of their accessories will be red. Stuff like that. It looks very cool. very, very just a vibes game you play at the end of the day or something, because it is samurai. It is, even though you are playing as someone without a sword, you are in samurai fights. So it's slow pace, is deliberate. You wait for like, the enemy to shine, and then you like parry their attack, because the gameplay is it's a dash, it's a top-down 2D game, so it's kind of Hyper Light Drifter a little bit, where you dash, but you're dashing into the enemy to parry the sword and like knock it away. And so, like, I was playing it on Steam Deck last night, just laying in bed before I fell asleep, and it was just, calm music with little moments of action scattered throughout. It is a little story-driven, so it's a little, again, slower pace, good for that handheld gameplay, but it has moments that really ramp up. Like we ended UPF where she goes all this way, the main character, to the village that she's trying to reach, and she non-lethally takes down everyone. She gains the respect of all the bandits and everything, and they're like, you know what, yeah, like we can team up. And then a samurai comes in and just decapitates the dude. Like, and she just like breaks down in tears. The screen turns red, and she kind of like starts having a moment there where she's like, "Oh God, this is why I wanted to get away from all this. This is horrible." And so it's that kind of like really classic samurai influenced game. I think it's really special. I feel like nobody's talking about it, but it looks cool. I think it feels good to play, and I kind of just want to put a spotlight on. I guess I would ask Jeff. Maybe not the best environment for it when we were yammering in your ear about caramel apple empanadas and stuff, but
that's ideal. That's how I want to play my games. Yeah. Once I got the hang of some of the stuff, it was like, if I felt very cool, which I think is what the game's going for. I thought that the parry or the counter window was kind of on the generous side, which is kind of what I would want for a game like this. That is trying to make you feel cool. I thought that was pretty good. Then once I started mixing in some of the dodge, then parry, then counter, it was like, okay, I could see myself getting into the flow of something like this, and I did really like the style.
Yeah, you do get more moves eventually. Again, I've only a couple hours in, so I don't know how much you get, but you get they call it like the key strike, where basically you punch a dude, but it's with a little blast of energy instead. So they do give you more tools to work with. I'm curious to see how many more you get, because again, it's just all about non-lethally taking down your opponents in a samurai fight, which I think is a really cool concept.
Yep,
lovely.
Good on Steam Deck.
Fantastic on Steam Deck, yeah.
Cool.
Shawn, you also put a game here on the list, and you didn't even write down the name of the game. But I've felt the same amount of hesitation about bringing this up, talking about it, asking about it, or even playing it. So I'm curious to hear what you think, Shawn, of Deadlock.
Oh God, we're saying the name. Okay.
No, I think it's all good now. I think we're all.
Yeah,
I think
so. I think because the
dam
dam broke, I think shouts to the
they publicly announced the game, so yes, yeah.
It's everywhere now. People are streaming and everything. So I think we can talk about Deadlock. And you know what? All that hullabaloo, Deadlock's fine.
It's fine.
I enjoyed what I played of it. I've not felt a huge urge to go back.
Should we stream it?
Yeah, we should. We should definitely stream it.
So yeah.
Yeah. I think there's something there.
Yes.
But it's definitely like that. I enjoyed it way more than Concord. I think if you were to say, hey, Jeff, it's your decision. Do you want to play like Marvel Rivals or Deadlock? I think in my head, I'd be like, I maybe am still more interested in Deadlock. I know I would have more fun playing Marvel Rivals.
Just because Marvel Rivals announced Psylocke is coming. So.
Right. Although I don't like the character model.
Psylocke is a fucked up character.
I don't know anything about her except that she's strong in Marvel vs. Capcom 2. And that Olivia Munn played her in a movie.
Olivia Munn played her, yes.
Yeah.
She made fun of my hair, and then she went to go play her. She didn't really make fun of my hair.
So, Jeff,
you recent mother?
You group Deadlock and hero shooters together in your brain then, right?
No, I mean, I think these are the new games on the market is kind of what I was doing here. Deadlock clearly is heroes in a shooter, but it's a MOBA. It's a MOBA.
Yeah,
also,
exactly. That's the thing. Because my friend was doing the same thing last night when we were playing. We're like, yeah, this is all right. But he was like, I would rather play Overwatch. I'm like, okay, interesting that you kept going to hero shooter, whereas I look at it and I immediately see MOBA because it is. If anyone hasn't seen it or whatever, you just heard about people talking about it. It is just a MOBA, but instead of playing from a top-down perspective and you're clicking on the map, you are playing a third-person shooter.
Right.
So
Well,
it's very Smite in that way.
Oh,
Yeah,
right. That's the game I was thinking.
We got hero shooters because of MOBAs. So it's just like, well, let's just take that part where you have these like bespoke characters instead of classes,
basically, yeah.
and you have cooldowns and you have ultimates, right? But yeah, this one is strictly a MOBA in terms of like the bases and the lanes and the shops and the towers, and like part of it does just come down to, well, that's the genre, and maybe I don't love that genre. I do not like time to go shopping, even though this game does the thing where it makes it kind of painless. You could just find the community favorite like shopping list and automatically buy things. Like, well, at least I can do that. But then part of me is like, well, why do I even have to do this then? Can't this just be a natural part of my progression? I guess, you know, the real sickos like having all that choice.
Well,
that's fine.
Because the build does matter if you're trying to counter your opponent.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Yeah.
right. It's just
But that's the MOBA side of like, well, you're playing this enough to understand what everyone is doing all the time, and that is hundreds, if not thousands, of hours to really get that. Yeah.
When is the last time you fired up Dota 2?
Oh, I've never been a Dota 2 guy, but
okay, Mike, when
if
is the
you're
last
saying
time
what I
you
think
fired
you're
up
saying,
Dota 2?
I'll do anything for this website, Jan.
No.
It's been like 7-8 years, and it was not a good time. Like God, Dota 2 is way too much. And I'm like, I could play any game. I played Dota 2, and I'm just like, I feel like the dunce cap wearing kid in an old cartoon. I feel bad.
Shawn, you guys should go back and watch it must have been a UPF where Dan went in to play Dota 2 and was like purposely being like, all right, I'm gonna build my bases, like pretend like he was playing an RTS. And I think all the people he was playing with on his team got very mad at him.
People get mad.
I mean, it's
wild.
It's a huge chunk of your day playing one match.
That's
of Dota
the other thing,
2.
and it's like you have this deadlock. Is that you got? Sorry, I gotta say it's one thing. Is that these games you freaking know you're gonna lose after like the first like 5 minutes or 10 minutes sometimes, and then you're just stuck there for another 40 minutes of your life because that's how long a match takes.
Well, no, you surrender.
Some of them you're not allowed to surrender. A lot of these games,
it depends on the game. It's like
some of them don't have surrender options.
I think League is 20, and then other ones have shortened it to 10. I will say, I have never liked the Valve look of a lot of these characters, like their take on cartoony characters, which is what Deadlock has character-wise. But just nothing, really hit with me. I was like, I don't like these character designs very much. Ironically, what me and my friends ended up doing, we were like, I'll go back and play some Smite. And so for the rest of the evening, for the next 2 hours,
Smite 2 is almost out, right?
And there's mixed things about that. I don't know. I kind of want to check it out.
Of course.
But we played so much Smite because this is what Jeff, Mike, I tried telling you guys forever ago. Smite plays like Star Wars Battlefront 2 classic. The way like you have a slight like lock on shooting and stuff like that.
Weird.
But it's in a MOBA. It feels so good to play. And so also, we don't like long games. So me and my friends hopped into Joust in Smite instead, which is just 3 lanes, faster pace. You get more gold, you get more experience. Match is over in like 10 to 15 minutes.
That's nice.
And we had a blast playing that all night long because they also have the very cartoony art style and all the characters and stuff.
Is Jesus in that game yet or not?
No, Avatar's in that game, right?
Yeah, Korra's in that game.
Oh, there you go.
And Ruby from the hit show Ruby.
Oh, RWBY Ruby?
Yes, Ruby Rose is in that game.
Ruby.
Yeah, but Deadlock, I wanted to check out because all the MOBA fans on the timeline were talking about it. They're like, oh yeah, this is it. This is the next one. I played it. I'm like, it's all right.
When I was having lunch with Ben Pack, this was the one game he told me he's been playing, and I think it's because this satisfies both big games that Ben has really gone into, where it is that Overwatch, it is like a Dota. I ask everyone if the last time they checked out Dota 2, because perhaps maybe one Monday we play a MOBA together, huh?
MOBA Monday?
How about, man, I would so much rather play a League of Legends than even a Dota 2, so.
Play Smite.
No, so
play the real MOBA.
I can't play League of Legends because I will actually get too toxic.
Let's play Heroes of the Storm. It's still active. It's not making anything.
Heroes of the Storm was actually fun.
Yeah.
It's like the Smash Brothers of MOBA, so it was good.
Okay. Maybe we play Heroes of the Storm.
Can we play that Lord of the Rings MOBA that didn't last very long?
God,
Guardians of Middle-earth.
Sure.
Can anyone think of the name of that? Heroes of
Guardians of Middle-earth, right?
Guardians of Middle-earth?
Because they all had to have acronyms like Dota.
Yeah.
Guardians of GOM.
GOM.
They all have to be like LOL or GOM or just one word that's short anyways, like Smite.
Let's do that, and then
Bots.
let's play that quick battle RTS that came out recently. I can't remember the name.
Sure, yeah, but whatever.
Yeah, I think it went into like early beta. That would be a fun because those are like 10-minute matches at max, and we haven't really played that.
Okay,
Thank you, Dr. Heckle.
Here's what we do. We do that. We'll have toxic. We'll have toxic week. All right.
Yeah, toxic Tuesdays.
Once we get to the teas.
Once we get to the teas, we'll have toxic week. So we'll play Counter-Strike. We'll play Valorant for the first time.
Okay.
We'll have MOBA Monday.
Yeah.
We'll do Smite Sundays. That's right. We're working 7 days that week.
Hell yeah.
We're doing the full week this time, and then I'll play League of Legends at night after I have like a couple Biggie Buzz balls.
Okay, there you go.
Flip and Chaz right. We gotta play Pokemon Unite, dude.
Yeah,
right.
That's how we get to
Pokemon
Worlds.
Unite
We play
and a lot of other
Unite.
ones.
We got enough
true.
people.
That's true. Cram Gang Rise Up. Cramorant was really broken when that game first came out.
A lot of things were broken in that game.
A lot of things were broken. Yeah, I haven't checked out Pokemon Unite in a hot minute. I'd love to circle back to that. Let's do that. All right. Before we get to the game of the Grub, is that?
And it's separate.
It is separate. Okay.
Yeah. You want to do it now?
Bakaru?
You could say Bakaru. It would pronounce Bakaru like that. You got to do the L and R sound at the same time. But yeah, Bakaru. It's a Goemon like.
This is Goemon, correct?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know the
spiritual successor or something.
Spiritual successor for
team,
sure.
Like that.
It's Good Feel who did what did they do recently? They did one of the Nintendo games recently, and I'm not gonna be able to place it. But
Yoshi, I believe.
They definitely. I think they've done Yoshi in the past for sure. Yes.
I'll get to the bottom of that.
Bakaru is a Tanuki, and he has shape-shifting powers, and that's the main mechanic here. The other main mechanic is your attacks are the drumsticks, like the Taito drumsticks.
But they had Princess Peach Showtime, huh?
You can hit Princess Peach Showtime. That's it. You can hit L1 to use your left drumstick. You hit R1 to do your right drumstick. You hit them fast in a beat. He goes and that automatically turns into a combo. You do both at the same time. You do a heavier hit. You hold down both at the same time. You could do a big slam on the ground, which can make stuff like pop out of the ground. It looks really sharp, like just a really good maybe Sega style 3D platformer, like the Dreamcast and Beyond, where it's just a really good look, very colorful, very nice. One of my favorite parts of the game is that there's these collectibles called trivia, and they're not like trivia about the game. They're just trivia about Japan as a country. And
Nice.
The one I remembered is like, and I remember this because of you, Jan, is June 1st is International Milk Day. October 1st is International Coffee Day. So Japan made August 1st, the day in between, Coffee with Milk Day. They call coffee a lot day.
Geniuses.
Yeah,
That's when Shawn and I do the Cyclops and Ryu dab.
Yeah.
And the game's just like telling me this. I'm like, well, that's pretty cool. And that was like just one of the collectibles I got. I'm really enjoying it. There is a mechanic where as you could transform into other things, like he has his human form, which is sort of the default, and that's when you're using the drumsticks. Quickly, you'll add other stuff like a mini little guy form that is less powerful, can't really attack, but you can run into small little crevices, and then you could kind of do the Yoshi-style hover jump to get over larger gaps because you weigh less, even though that's not how gravity works. But in this game, it does. You just kind of spam the A button as you're going over these things, and you can hover over. And it feels good, but your meter is depleting anytime you're in one of these transformations. But everything you kill gives you the power up to rebuild that meter. It's just it's good. I'm just having a good time with it. And
fun.
I think it looks fun is a huge part of it. It just looks so enticing, and then everything you're doing really kind of plays into that.
Looking at the Steam screenshots, you can tell that this is Good Feel because this looks like a Nintendo game. Like this looks
very Nintendo. Yes.
Yeah, very Splatoon or something like that. Like the simple graphically, but having that distinct cell shaded art style. It looks
feels
great.
like a team that has worked with Nintendo producers and now has a certain level of expectations that they place on themselves.
Right.
In terms of delivering a game that like just feels alive and jumping. I'm just sort of at home in a game like this. I'm in a weird spot right now where nothing's super clicking with me, and I think it's just like I'm stressed out because Steph's leaving and I'm busy over here, and it's like hard to like sit down and play a game. So I was looking for something that gave me that good feel, and surprised it was this. I'll leave. You're right. I'm sorry.
Boy.
Good night, everybody.
Did they not originally call this a mystical ninja game? I swear they did in a direct or something.
I think they, the direct, they might have mentioned like, hey, from people that worked on Goemon the Mystical Ninja, because it's very linked to Goemon.
Yeah, blue hair and all.
Goemon, for people that don't remember, I don't know like where he originally originates from, but if you remember the N64 Goemon games, there's some of the Super
SNES
Nintendo
games before,
Mystical
Super
Ninja, and Mystical Ninja. They were kind of the other 3D platformers that people thought were pretty good.
Lovely. Before we get to the game of the week, just some couple things I'd like to share with you friends here. I got to visit Digital Eclipse yesterday, interview Dan Amrich, the writer for Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Reader's Rewind. Interview is going to go up on the site soon enough. Folks, we got some exclusives to break.
Whoa! Journalism Jan,
that's right. That one time a college professor destroyed my confidence in my writing. We're undoing that.
Yeah.
And also, boys,
yes,
I got to see the PS5 Pro 30th anniversary.
Did you get me one? Did you get me one?
I got to see it in person.
Smuggle out?
That's just so hot.
Yeah,
so hot.
Such a good gray.
Mike Minotti dropped that so hot.
Yeah, that's so fucking hot.
It was. I was like, oh man, I'm not a collector. I don't want to buy however much this is going to be, but I really want it.
Okay,
$1,000.
The good news is like they're doing this color scheme on a whole bunch of things. So if you just want a controller, you're going to have that option.
I have so many controllers now. Though.
All right, but if let's say this is going to be your second PS5, maybe just get the digital edition one, and that's we've already seen the price. It's $500.
Two PS5s.
So
they sent him another one.
Both have been sent to me, but I have a Slim or whatever they call it. They sent me a Slim. It's like my streaming one now. And that's the thing is like they might offer to send me a PlayStation 5 Pro, but they're not going to offer to send me this gray PlayStation anniversary one.
It's beautiful.
Kind of what I want.
There's only 12,300 that they're selling,
that's
so probably
insane.
not. Yep.
That's not nearly enough. That's going to be a scalper's world there. Gosh, like I get limited, but make more than that. Make 100,000.
Well, it's still like going like the 12,000 is supposed to be like the original date of the PlayStation, I believe, and that's why they're doing that.
Oh wow,
that's cute and everything, but maybe just make enough of them to make more money and
120,000 or whatever.
Well, no, because these are guaranteed to sell out.
Yeah.
Well, whereas if it was a huge number of them, they may have backstock of them.
Thanks to Chiaki on Steam Deck, I have purged the desire to pick up a PlayStation Portal.
Although there's one of those as well.
Until I saw the 30th anniversary PlayStation Portal.
It looks really good.
It looks so hot. Who knew adding the colors back to those face buttons would do it for me? But it did.
Oh God.
Yeah. So it really does translate to seeing it in person, Jan, is what you're saying.
100%. And that's what I think hurts the most. And because it wasn't just the nostalgia of that original shade of gray. It was seeing it exactly as it was in my head of seeing like a PS1 or a PSX for the first time. Like, oh no, that's that gray. Oh man, look at this thing.
Yeah.
I want to put this in my pocket right now, but I'm not wearing my cargo shorts. Anyway, let's get to the game of the week, which is actually a bunch of games. UFO 50. Y'all played this on UPF last week, a portion of it. And this is Grub. Would you like to say that this is a collection of games and there's kind of some other jazz going on?
Yeah. So UFO 50 from Derek Yu and friends. Derek Yu did Spelunky. They announced this a long time ago. It took a long time to get completed, and it's pretty clear why now playing it. It is a collection of 50 NES style games, or NES level games, I guess you would say. And the UFO 50 refers to a fictional console called the UFO, I believe, that they kind of built into this world. And all these games are supposed to represent a timeline of games released for that thing, starting with rudimentary games and then getting to stuff that's a little bit more complicated, and then getting the sequels of some of those games. In fact, there's like some that have multiple sequels. So like you get to like Campanella 3, for example. And these things, get more complicated as you play. So they developed like a fictional timeline, and that seems to be where a lot of the not necessarily effort, but like where a lot of the elongating of the timeline of releasing the game came from. I think I'm playing it in a maybe not a necessarily weird way, but a lot of other people are doing this, but I kind of feel a little bit of a compulsion to complete each game, like see credits before moving on to the next. And I'm trying to break that a little bit, but it's I'm still like very much like, I want to play a lot of this to see if I can get the credits, because I want to see the cartridge turn gold, because there's a 5x10 grid or something like that, or 10x5 grid, where you there's 10 games, and then like each one is gray until you play it, and then it turns like a light color or colorful, and then if you beat the game, the cartridge itself turns gold, and then if you do like, apparently if you get everything or you've reached a certain level, it turns red. And I'm like, I just want to start by getting the gold cartridges. That makes me feel good. And I did that with Barbuda, the first one, which is very rudimentary, very esoteric in how it works. Your characters are very slow and chunky, and it doesn't feel great to play. And I eventually kind of fell in love with it, because it's like, it is cool to eventually be like, I'm lost. I should just try this. Oh, wait, is that stuff not moving? Wait, what's going on here? And then you jump in there and you survive, and you feel not even necessarily clever, but you feel such a sense of relief, because you're like, I figured out this puzzle, and now I can move on. And figuring out each one of those things was a pretty fun process. And now it's like, I've committed so much of this to memory, that Barbuda being this like relatively short game, it's like I could do a run in like 5 minutes now, and that's pretty cool.
My favorite thing about games that will replicate like an NES style game is how much more detail that they add to it because of modern technology. One of the games I enjoyed a lot of is Kit Club, and like the kid you play as has a little pompadour that as you finish a level, it kind of like wiggles around as you finish a level as he's being transported to the next screen. And that's kind of you are a child kicking a soccer ball around, and use the soccer ball to defeat the enemies. I'm approaching this game completely different than Grub, where I'm just checking each game out, and if I bounce off of it, I'll bounce off of it and check out another one.
Same.
Hotfoot is like this is going to be not near impossible, but we'll probably just talk about a couple of these games in UFO 50. But Hotfoot is a beanbag dodgeball game where you choose a team of two, and for the most part, these games are like 2-button games, right? Where there's like an action and then a jump or whatever.
Yeah, usually.
And your button to switch between your two players also is the button to pick up stuff. So I was kind of getting tripped up where I would pick up a beanbag, but also accidentally switch to my CPU person. And then you're charging up your beanbag to throw at the other team. And there's like all this other crap being thrown on screen. And it's very overwhelming, but it makes me really want to play dodgeball, shoot dodgeball. Bushido Ball is like a Windjammers like, where you are playing as a samurai.
It has verses.
It does have verses.
We should probably check that out.
Yeah, it's really good too, because there's parts of Windjammers where I'm just really terrible at it. But because this treats it more like just Pong, where you're hitting the ball back and forth, it translates a little bit better. All the different characters have specific abilities, and it has a really good dash. I love a good dash.
Yeah, you brought that up in Epic Mickey, big dash guy. Also, Windjammers.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll play some Dolph at the Beach together next time we see each other, guys.
Hey, I have a complaint about UFO 50.
Please.
Okay.
Why is it on Switch?
I don't know,
Is it not?
It's not. I just assumed it was. Like, I'm gonna go get that. Everyone's talking about it. It is not on Switch. I think it's only on PC right now, and that bummed me out.
Weird. Okay.
I don't know. Game development is hard.
Yeah, I bet.
I'm tired of their excuses, though.
Lazy devs.
You lazy game devs.
By the way,
they'll probably understand.
It says before, look, I know everyone tried to help us think it's great on Steam Deck. I would have guessed this game was good on Steam Deck. I don't know if I needed to be told.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
I know. But I just like playing things on Switch,
Are you playing it, Mike?
No, I wanted to play it on Switch, and then I couldn't, so I didn't. Sorry.
Okay.
I did like spend a lot of time in Bug Hunter, the second game. A sort of puzzle. Yeah, it's a puzzle strategy game where you kind of get cards, and you can swap out the cards if you get enough of these on-screen power pellets. But those power pellets you can also shoot with your gun, which is one of the cards you have, and that'll make them explode, and they explode in a 3x3 grid. And if that hits another one of those power pellets, it'll cause a chain reaction, and it'll blow up all the enemies in there. I've gotten pretty far into that, but I haven't been able to beat that. I think you got to get to level 25, and I've gotten to like 15 or 16. It is like it's about management where you got to like stay on top of the power curve because like, each round more things will spawn onto the screen, but you got to deal with anything that you didn't clear out last time, and those things often like level up, so it takes multiple hits to get rid of them, or they turn into eggs, and if those eggs hatch, the entire screen gets filled with bugs and you automatically lose. It's clever, it's well designed, and I think it's like all these games have enough going on that if you give them time, it's actually easy to sort of be like, oh, I like this. They cooked here.
Oh yeah, there's some full length games in here.
Oh yeah. There's at least one Metroidvania, I guess. There's a
JRPG. Like, I've been playing it as well, and I just started, so I'm only through a few of them. I'm kind of doing what Jan did, where just going in order, and if a game strikes me, I spend some time with it, and so I got through the first 5 or so it is, and it's interesting because some of these are like kind of intentionally bad games, but it's because they are trying to portray the history of 8-bit games through their own original games. So like that first game, Barbuda is like, it's kind of a bad game, but that's the point,
right?
To like
and
reflect
like
early
back then, you
NES
could
games.
you could be like, oh, I love that game because you like didn't have anything else, and if you sort of put yourself in that mindset, you can have the same thing happen here.
It feels very faithful. It's it's certainly interesting. The one, by the way, it's the LX is the fictional system itself. I don't know how UFO plays into that. But the one that I stopped at and just kept playing was Mortal, Mortol, which apparently there's 2 of them in here.
Yeah, there's Mortal 2, like the Confederacy of Nilpus.
Hell yeah. Where the entire premise of it is that, you are like this fleet of people or something, and you are protecting the mortal. You're trying to like clear a path for them or something. And so what you do is it's a 2D side scroller, and in the upper left hand corner is your little airplane, and dudes drop out of the airplane. And when your dude hits the ground, you can do one of 3 things. You can either, it's the ritual of blank, like one is the ritual of stone, where you turn to like, Tanuki Suit Mario, you just turn to a block. There's a ritual of bomb, where like your bomber man, like blow up to like clear the way. And then I forget what this one's called, but ritual of arrow, I think. Yeah. Where you do just like Superman's forward until their head sticks into the wall.
Hell
like a dart. And then you use them as a platform for the next guy. It's hilarious. It's very comical.
It's also very like smart as a puzzle game where it's like it's broken up into levels, and if you clear the first level, you'll have however many lives you have left. And if you did really well on the first level, and now like I was able to like clear it. You start with 20 lives. I was able to finish it with 21 lives because there's pickups along the way. And so now I start the World 2 with 21 lives, and I'm replaying World 2 a couple times because I'm like, I'm actually losing some. I lost a lot the first time, so I was down to like 10 lives. I'm like that, or like 11. And it's like, that's not enough. I need to go back, redo it, become more efficient so I can set up a new save for World 3 where I have at least near 20 lives. And it's like, okay, so I'm gonna try to improve my efficiency playing this level and try to apply what I've learned like a good puzzle game.
Yeah, it's just a puzzle platformer that has resource management elements as a card game player, as a TCG player. I love that. Ooh. And so it's just really hitting with me.
Is it like the Pokemon card game for Game Boy, or
it's exactly
or like Neo Geo Pocket?
It's exactly like
game?
That, Mike. Yeah, 100%.
That's great. That's good.
He's not listening to what I say, dude. But
I was looking at videos of this thing. I'm sorry.
Look at Shawn while he's talking.
It has guns.
Jesus Christ. Anyways, the point is, it's very good, and it's just like Jeff said on Game S Mornings yesterday. Mortal could have been just its own little Steam game, for like $6 or whatever. So the fact that's one of the 50 in here is, I think, promising for some of the other ones that are really going to stand out.
I've gotten really attached to House Party. I don't know if y'all have checked that one out yet.
I'm not, but I've heard a lot of people are talking about that one.
You were managing. I also love that most. My assumption is most of these games have zero tutorial. They
right?
Just
they're NES games.
Yeah, it's NES.
So
you get like the controls. You can press X on each one
X.
before you go into it to get like the most basic of quote unquote manuals,
and like a little bit of the history about maybe who developed it. But I think that's all work.
Yeah.
House Party is a party management game, and it's neat because you start with you get the layout of a house, but you only get 4 or 5 house tiles, and those tiles correspond to the amount. It's not because it's a tile game that I like it. It's because it's a house party game, and I love house parties. And the number of tiles that you have in your house correspond to the number of guests you can invite over. So you can have you initially start with a party of like 3 or 4 people, and each individual guest that you invite to your party either adds money to your party, adds to your popularity, and I forget what the third meter is. But also some of these different guests in your Rolodex, because you have a roster of people that you have available to invite. Some of them are trouble, but some of the other party guests will counter effects to the trouble. So if you have a very troublesome party goer, if you have a dog, the dog takes care of the trouble. Or you can invite a cop over, and that cop will kick someone out.
Jeff won't like that.
No. We don't. I did not pick the cops. I
don't let them in. Just don't give them permission to come in.
Never let them in. I'll let in the trouble.
They'll tase you, but don't let them in.
I have an important correction, Jan.
Oh yes, please do, Mike.
This game is called Party House, not House Party.
House Party on Steam is something very different.
Oh
Jan.
yeah, that's the game where you can whip it out, and you don't want that.
Oh,
you play that one, Jeff?
I didn't until I was like, oh, you could just whip it out, and that's a mechanic. I'm like, this is creepy, and I stopped playing.
Okay.
Thank you for the correction. Party House.
I got you. Don't worry.
Thanks, bud. Thanks. It's neat. I didn't understand what the hell was going on, and then like you see the meters go up, and you're like, oh, I can buy more tiles in my own house. Cool.
Is it a tiny tower like or whatever that was?
It kind of reminds me of a tiny tower. Or whatever that game was. Maybe it was Tower Tiny.
That's the official name. Tiny Tower or whatever that game was.
Tower Tiny is probably what it was called.
It was Tower Tiny. Yeah, I can't wait for the BCR stream where we rank all 50 of
hell yeah.
50 games. I really because I have been kind of like trying to look at these games as you say them, which is so sorry, Shawn, again if I miss what you talked about the card game. But God, it all looks really fun, and maybe I'm not gonna wait for a Switch release because I don't know when that is. Maybe I'm gonna jump on this sooner than that.
Have either of you played Golfaria yet?
I was about to check it out.
Okay, me too. I'm like, that's the one I'm like might be the most me one because it looks like a Kirby's Dream Course adventure game, which is maybe the greatest combination of words I've ever heard. And it's apparently one of the Derek Yu games, which I think he kind of nails these things. So it is like it's a golf game where you place the ball and you can do a regular shot. You could do kind of the air shot like Kirby's Dream Course, but it also is like calculating physics in real time. So as you move your shot, like if let's say there's a slanted piece of ground, it'll show you how the ball's going to curve, and it just looks really, really well done. So I want to play that one, but I'm like, I think once I start that, I'm not going to play anything else. So I kind of keep putting it off. Yeah.
Is there anything that's like a Bubble Bobble like in here?
Probably.
Yeah, probably. I
Bubble Bobble like.
I have played like maybe 10 of the games so far.
Wow.
Campanella is one I did try because I was curious because that one has Campanella 2 and 3, and that's like a little lunar lander kind of game where you can move through narrow corridors. Well, there's like usually each level gives you options where it's like here is a wider corridor but maybe with an enemy. Or here's a very narrow corridor, but it's clear. So what do you want to do? And I'm like, I want to like challenge myself. So I'm going through these narrow corridors, and it's it's pretty well done. I'm like very curious to see how they're going to build on this with 2 and 3. And some of these sequels are like, the first one is, and these are the Shoot developers, was developed by one team, and then someone else made a sequel to it. I also kind of want to see how that works for some of these things. It's interesting on multiple levels, UFO 50. And of course, we're talking on the very like the surface level, like, hey, what it's like to play these games. I have no idea what that terminal does yet, where there's where you can put in the Game Genie style codes.
Yeah.
And I think it's showing you like bits of RAM, sorted on the side, where it's like, what if you adjusted like what is in this little segment here? I don't know how that works.
Oh, bro, you think this is a Mew? Do you think we have UFO 51?
I think we probably do have at least UFO 51. Yes, okay. I think there's hidden games.
Okay.
There's probably more to it than we're even realizing. So, I think I'm excited about that stuff. Although very frequently stuff like that in games I get excited about, and it's like I think I'm just gonna go see what other people have done instead of doing it myself. But right now I have the bug, and I'm like, well, I'll give it a shot. I'll see if I can discover some of these things.
Okay. What if it's Frog Fractions? You know,
that would be fantastic. Man, Frog Fractions is so good.
Beautiful. That is a whole bevy of video games.
One last thing, just as a I gotta give people the pointers, tips and tricks. That Pilot Quest
that magazine is closed.
Well, it's a pilot. Tipsandtricks2.com goes to Giant Bomb. The Pilot Quest game is an idle game, so you probably want to start it earlier. So just go start that one now. Get it going, and you can kind of, I think maybe even idle stuff some in the background. I just kind of started it myself, but yeah.
Okay. All right.
The Simpsons tap out like.
Exactly. Thank you.
Boyos, that is it for video games. Look forward to BCR this week for conversations on some other stuff that's been embargoed. Thank you, Mike, for that. The embargo bumper. We're going to use that moving forward. Folks, get ready for video game news right after this quick bricky break.
Don't go anywhere.
That's right. Keep your butt down, unless you got to go somewhere with your butt.
Well,
This is the news with Jeff Grubb. Beep, 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 beep. News.
Howdy, everybody. Let's get into some news. Let's start here. We did talk about it a little bit, but PlayStation announced the 30th, anniversary collection, including gray PS5 and PS5 Pro. I will add that we did get some details about the pricing. As we mentioned, the PS5 Pro won't be limited to $12,300. We don't know what the price of that will be, but some of the other numbers have begun to leak. Bill Kuhn over at Deal Labs was able to see that the PS5 Pro 30th Anniversary Edition digital one, which is just the non-pro. Exactly, and the exact same thing that is already on shelves for $450, right?
Yeah.
That'll be $500 for the 30th Anniversary Edition. The controller, for example, which is now sells for $75 after a recent $5 price increase, will be $80. So they're adding just a little bit on top for some of these things. Now, if that gives you hope for the PS5 Pro 30th Anniversary Edition, don't do that, because that's going to come with a DualSense Edge. Yes, seems to have everything in there. We are probably talking at least $1,000 for that. So,
ooh,
is it bad that I'm thinking about maybe getting the DualSense Edge or the DualSense just so I can get that funny, funky USB cord?
No, because that USB cord, so if people don't know, there's a little clamp you can put on the USB cord that makes it look like a PS1 style controller that you plug into the PS1, except for now you're plugging it into USB-C. So it's kind of stupid in a good way. I really like that.
It looks like you're plugging a PS1 controller into a PlayStation. It's really, really cute.
It's a lot of fun. Yes. This was neat. It didn't necessarily come out of nowhere. I think there were rumors they might do something for this. Pre-orders do start, let's see, in about 2 days from this recording. Wow. So on Thursday, gonna be a bloodbath for the PS5 Pro for sure.
Let's get a group one.
Yeah.
Like
okay.
Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. Oh,
I would love that. Yes.
I'm gonna try to get me one of these.
I'm gonna get in line.
Even after saying I don't want to spend $700 on a console, I will spend $1,000 on a console that I can use for work, and then will be worth like $5,000.
Right, you can have a PS5,
years.
so it's a pretty easy.
Yeah,
for you.
Exactly.
Yeah, just for me, because I don't have a PS5, and it would be useful to have one instead of borrowing my friends, wiping it, and then putting my stuff on there and wiping again when I get it back.
This Oreo Coke Zero still hits, by the way. Oh my god,
it's good stuff.
So I've heard I got to do the can over the bottle, right?
I don't know. I thought they both taste good. So far, I did laugh because Nikki, who I love dearly, did the video oh, Dan, Mike led me astray, and threw the Coke Zero Oreo in the trash. And I was like, well, do you like Coke Zero? And they were like, no. I was like, well, guess what it primarily is still.
Yeah, I wonder what's up with that. What could be the determining factor here?
That's my new canon, is all the people who come at me oh, it doesn't taste good. I think they just don't like Coke Zero, because it is only in Coke Zero. So
right.
If you're not a Coke Zero fan, you're used to normal Coke, then maybe it throws you off. I'm very used to Coke Zero, and Coke Zero is my favorite drink.
You can't replicate the taste of an Oreo with real sugar. That's impossible.
That'd be disgusting.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Unrelated to anything. I'm sorry.
I love
it. How dare you interrupt the show with a random aside, Jan?
I host the show. I can do whatever the hell I want. I hate the number of times we've collectively all gone down to Los Angeles now, because I've developed a taste. I'm sorry, Shawn. Sooner or sooner. I swear to God. I've developed a taste for the aspartame. I used to really like Coke Zero, but now I think I just like DC.
You like Diet Coke?
Oh,
yeah,
no,
it's funny.
Oh.
I went to the fandom office to see if I had any belongings there, the San Francisco one. We're moving offices, folks. Don't worry, nothing bad is happening. And I know as soon as I say that, people are just going to assume. So whatever. I went there to just pick up some miscellaneous office supplies that I could perhaps use if I had any belongings, if I could steal a dragon.
Rock the dragon.
And then I went to go raid the kitchen, and all the DCs were gone. We just had full Coke and full Pepsi there.
Oh, that's undrinkable.
Yeah.
It's too sweet. Wait,
Coke Zero does still use aspartame, but it uses something else in addition to that, where Diet Coke does seem to just use aspartame.
No, Coke Zero is sucralose.
Let me see. I have one. Well,
this was the Google AI, so you're probably right. Yep.
I thought there was still aspartame here, but I don't actually know. I'll check. Hey, what? We're moving office. You guys are moving offices. We're not going to look over La Brea tar pits anymore.
No. San Francisco.
Yeah,
I
the
live
San
in
Francisco office. That's a different
Like
city.
Yeah, what the hell am I talking about? You're right.
The LA office.
That makes more sense.
Because that's where the La Brea tar pits are.
There's that. Yeah, that makes more. Well, there's
He's
that
just looking at the Coke.
Phosphoric acid.
He's not listening to me.
Listen. That's where the La Brea tar pits are. I got the wrong city. I know. Look, it's all California to me.
Okay. PlayStation State of Play returns
Sucracose.
later
no,
today.
curious about that. I see
aspartame
aspartame. Yeah, no.
and sucracose. There you go.
Sucracose.
Yeah, they're gonna have a PlayStation State of Play later today. They're gonna cover over 20 games. It'll last over 30 minutes. Let's see. The show will feature news and updates on more than 20 upcoming PS5 and PSVR 2 games.
What?
From various studios. I don't know if that's actually true. We'll see. Yeah, things to expect. That Lego Horizons game's still not out. Bungie's Marathon's coming out next year, maybe. There's the rumored Horizon Zero Dawn remaster. We'll get into that in a second. And other games. I don't know. Where are your guys' expectations level at for a PlayStation State of Play?
Oh, like the stuff you said. Maybe more remasters. Maybe that Days Gone one. And like maybe. And I say have to. They don't have to. But we know so little about what's happening with PlayStation Beyond this year that it would be nice if they announced at least one big AAA game that's coming out in 2025. It could be something from Sucker Punch. It could be something else. Yeah, bring it back. Blasto, Jumping Flash, Mr. Mosquito, all the stars.
AI Phil Hartman voice. Everyone will love that.
Everyone will be a big fan of that. It'll be very respectfully done. Yeah, it'll be great. So I hope there's at least one good, one last thing. But again, I think remasters is the order of the day. It looks like that Legacy of Kain 1 and 2 remaster collection is already leaked on like some stores somewhere, and we've already leaked at Comic-Con before this. So we're probably going to hear about that at least. State of Plays. People sometimes forget this, and even I kind of like always get my expectations too high for what they are. They are generally kind of low key. They don't have the biggest announcements, and that's a lot of partner stuff and a lot of stuff we already know about. I think what's weird about it is that we haven't had a PlayStation showcase in a good while.
There was one last year, right? Like last May.
And we know so little again about 2025.
September.
And, maybe Xbox announced a lot of stuff too early, but it is nice to kind of know, like, well, we got Fable, we got Perfect Dark, we got things like coming. Yeah. We know what it's going to be.
Sony used to do that. Like that was their thing. Like 2015, 2016, they'd be like, here's stuff coming 3-4 years from now.
And I'm not saying you have to do that, but presumably there are some games coming out next year that you can announce now at least, because if not, this is already, kind of a quiet year for PlayStation. I, enjoyed it quite a bit.
They don't want Ghost of Tsushima to get drowned out by fair games, Mike. Come on.
I understand that. I mean, right, but like Ghost of Tsushima 2, you would think that's a 2025 game, I would assume. So why not announce
that it's a 2025 game at the very least? There's a chance,
but if that's not the 2025 game, something has to be the 2025 game, and I would like to know what it is.
Yeah. What if their 2025 game is not one of their games, and they're just hoping people associate GTA 6 with the PS5?
Well, they definitely are doing that. They're definitely going to try to pull, because I mean, the PS5 Pro will be the best way to play that because it's not going to be on PC when it launches, right? So they're well positioned to take advantage of that. Let me ask you all some quick questions. Yes or no's. What if you want to elaborate? Feel free. Will we get a date for Metal Gear Solid Delta?
Ooh. I think we're gonna get 2024 still.
I'm hoping so because I just picked it up in no, I didn't. No, Dan counterpicked it, and I need him to lose points on that if it does well.
Why did Dan counterpick it?
I'm hoping he doesn't have like inside information after going to see the game in person.
Yeah, after going to an event.
His preview was pretty good.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, well, I'm worried about.
To be fair, there's not a lot of options left on counterpicking because most of the counterpicks have been really. And the final date for that is in a couple days.
This is how I win, though. If that kid comes out,
right? We're back in
really
it.
Well.
Yeah, Dan's
exactly.
Oh, we're so back.
Right, that's what we're so back. You and I are back in it if it comes out. So
now I totally.
Everyone always counts me out. I have 4 major releases yet to come out this year.
So me and Mike are back in it.
God damn it. We're so back.
Okay, Final Fantasy Tactics Remaster Remake.
Don't play with my heart like this, Grub. It's not going to happen. It's not going to be there.
It's going to happen, but maybe not this year.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's not going to happen today.
Also, by the way, I still think Metal Gear is next year. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, listen,
I don't see that coming.
It doesn't seem like a weird thing to say that at this point because we don't have a date, and it is almost October.
Do we have a date for Silent Hill 2?
People are playing that, aren't they? Like,
it has to be. It has to have.
It leaked online, and people are playing it. I think it's out soon. Yeah, isn't that like early October?
October 8th. There you go.
Yeah.
Oh.
I remember seeing that story. That's console exclusive on PS5 for some inexplicable reason.
For a year.
But you know what? Like, we're probably gonna see that here. We're probably gonna like get a reminder in the trailer. Yeah, that's like the kind of stuff we're gonna see.
Final Fantasy IX remake.
No.
No.
Not yet,
I guarantee it's there. Just to mess with you guys. I don't care.
Don't get me excited. Look, if you want to see me have a pop off.
Yeah, I kind of do. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be exciting, but I don't know. I still just have a hard time imagining what that is. I'm gonna be so excited for it, but it's just not real until it's real, you know.
To me, it's got to be right in line with the Crisis Core game, right? That they did with because they updated all the assets for that.
I think they have to do more.
Yeah,
that was a PSP game. This is a PlayStation 1 game. You kind of just can't replace character models.
Okay,
yeah, I think
for most people.
We're in agreement that it's gonna be a Persona 3 Reload situation.
Right.
Persona 3 Reload. Yeah, it's gonna like mimic the original game in a lot of ways.
Just
and
entirely
new
visuals.
Right. And if it's been like 20 years since you played it, you could trick yourself even to thinking it's a 1-to-1. But it's gonna basically be a new game.
Yeah.
Last question: Resident Evil 9. Do we get like the first teaser of that?
That's a big game, and like normally I would not expect it at a state of play, but again, like I think everybody wants this to be a state of play plus, right? That's what we all want.
And to be fair, the September state of plays traditionally are lesser than the ones earlier in the year.
Yeah. Gosh, I would love to. It's been a surprisingly long amount of time since we heard about what the next Resident Evil is, remake or otherwise.
Yeah. I think that's most likely to be the big thing here, honestly. I just think it feels like it's time.
I don't know. I feel like with TGS later, TGS is this week, isn't it?
Yeah, it's late. It's this weekend, basically.
Well, that's my thought is like something can be announced here and be on the show floor at TGS.
Right.
Yeah, that's also
why like Death Stranding 2 probably does show back up in this thing. Right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right.
Okay, so we did mention this Horizon Zero Dawn remastered. The reason we think that's going to be there is it was just rated by the ESRB.
Yeah.
So it seems very likely. That did bring up some other stuff where someone mentioned to me that there's an even more disappointing remaster, and then Jordan Midler was like, "Yeah, I heard that's Days Gone," and that's what I've heard as well. So both of those could, if they do both of those, they should pair them up. Where it's like, not like release them as a 2-pack or something like that, but be like, and Sony's doing some remasters for people who want to see these games back, and that's Horizon Zero Dawn and Days Gone. Don't treat them both like big special announcements.
You know those names rhyme. You could maybe the announcement could be like a little song or a rap.
Okay.
Yeah,
bringing
that's what I was
back
getting
Horizon Zero Dawn, and guess what? We're also bringing back Days Gone.
I like it. I don't. Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver
hold up. Back the fuck up. Hold on. I want to talk about Horizon.
Wait, why?
Because it's a...
Wait, does anyone have the link blower?
Shawn, I know, I get it. Okay, yeah. Wait, why?
No, regardless of the quality of the game, I want to talk about the weirdness of it. Do we know how this is going to release? In any way, shape, or form?
It's going to be a box $60, $70 game.
No. Not what do you think? Do we know for a fact anything about this from the leaks?
Oh, it hasn't been announced.
I don't think
we don't know anything.
No, that's what I'm saying. No information. Is this possibly just a Spider-Man remastered situation where they just replace the original?
No, I mean it could be
because the rumor is just they're updating the models and cleaning up the graphics. That's what they did with Spider-Man.
That's also what they did with Last of Us. Part
no,
1, right?
Remind me how Spider-Man got released.
Spider-Man was what? It was a pre-order bonus for Miles Morales, was it?
Right. It was concluded in that I think if you bought the upgraded version, you would get both, right?
Right. It was like Deluxe Edition Miles Morales, which is how they made Miles Morales a $70 product, was you get Spider-Man Remastered, and eventually Spider-Man Remastered just replaced Spider-Man, and that's like what PC has. They just have Spider-Man Remastered. I'm wondering if Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered just replaces Horizon Zero Dawn
Yeah.
on storefronts.
There's-
And then, so, you know,
yeah,
if someone's buying it
probably.
for the first time, that's how they refresh the MSRP to $70. But if you already have it, maybe it's a $10 upgrade, or maybe it's a free
That
upgrade.
seems likely and possible, yes.
So that's
Yeah.
why I think, like, look, again, regardless of how you feel on the game, I think that's what makes it not such a crazy proposition.
Yeah, I mean, and we get it. They probably started this in between projects, and they started this definitely when they were thinking that the TV show would be ready. Again, I always say I'm bad at reporting on TV and movies. I don't understand that world, but what I hear is it's troubled. I don't know if that means anything. But you know, that's the TV show. So yeah, I could see why they thought this was a maybe a good idea, a better idea. I don't know. They get to sell it for more money going forward. That is a good thing for them. That's kind of all they care about.
Yeah.
Days Gone is maybe even it is even stranger, but
I mean, I always think that, you know, and like the Days Gone defenders are weird. That game did sell a lot of copies somehow, so I don't know.
I mean,
how well did it sell?
So like 7 million or something.
Okay,
I think
I was
it's,
gonna say,
it's
like-
more than Bloodborne. It is more than Bloodborne.
Horizon makes sense because Horizon popped off with the casual audience. That sold really well. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, you're right. 7.32 million.
People
so,
love freaks, y'all. I don't know.
That's
freaking.
right. They
I
love
think
those
that-
freaks freaking.
I think if they announce Days Gone today, a remaster, we have to do Days Shawn.
Yeah, we have to. There's no. I mean,
There you
there's a
go.
law.
Yeah.
Darn, it really sucks I don't have a PS5, you know? Like,
Oh, shit.
I just can't even play that game.
It's paid
out
hourly,
it's
and
impossible
we
to
have to
play
buy
just
more
anywhere
have
PS5.
else.
You'll just have to play the PS4 version.
They have a PS4? What kind of a console?
Yeah, well, definitely
it'll
have
be
a
on
PC.
PC as well, right? I mean,
It
it
is
is
on
already
PC.
on
I was
PC.
hoping
It
you
is on
forget
PC.
about that.
Yeah, but this version will probably come out on PC at the same time.
Oh, baby.
Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver 1 and 2 Remastered leaks via PSN. Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver 1 and 2 Remastered has appeared on the PlayStation Network. The page for the game mentioned on a statue during San Diego Comic-Con, if people remember that story, has officially now gone live early. The bundles include both Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver and Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver 2, where you play as Raziel, who's like that main cool-looking vampire dude. He doesn't have a bottom jaw, right? It's like a
Yeah, he's got
spiritual jaw.
Yeah, he's got
He's on top.
an ascot or whatever.
All top loader.
That's cool. I bet like that Tomb Raider team that did those remasters probably just like went straight to this. I don't know if it's them. We'll find out. But yeah, these games are have a great reputation. I've been meaning to play them for a while, so this will make that very easy.
You're not gonna go back to Blood Omen, Legacy of Kain, play some Silicon Knights, get some Dennis Dyack
Well, I
up in
kinda
your
want to.
business.
That's like a Diablo, like, right? It's like a
Think so.
top-down action RPG. It's a little weird because I don't know about you. I never hear people talk about Soul Reaver 2 nearly as much as the first one, let alone some of the like there's a couple other sequels like Defiance or whatever with weird names. And again, you never hear people. There was even a Legacy of Kain Blood Omen 2, right? And
Yeah,
I don't
there
know
was.
what people think about that.
You said Blood Omen's Diablo-like. No, it's a too human-like. Please, come on.
That's pardon
Oh,
moi.
right.
Um,
Raziel is so hot topic coded that I feel
Yeah.
like
Oh,
if they just
yeah.
wanted to bring him back, it would do numbers.
it does feel like that side of the vampire scene is not being served. Did you watch that Sinners trailer, the Michael B.
Yeah.
Jordan vampire movie? That stuff looks great. I know that Interview with the Vampire is very popular right now. They need someone who's more like, not like sci-fi, but like just got more going on as a vampire. So I think Raziel could fit into a niche.
More Riz with the vampire. I don't know if Riz is the word.
Yeah, something. He's got, yeah.
It needs to be more hot
Gas
topic
guy Rizzy,
coded. That's
yeah.
what
Yeah.
it is. We get it.
Rizel.
Raziel.
Nailed it.
Nintendo and the Pokemon Company are suing Palworld developer Pocket Pair. This has kind of been everywhere, but we'll recap it. They are suing them for patent infringement, and I still don't think we know exactly what patent it is. But this would
People are
be
assuming it's the Legends Arceus catching style, which
right.
was patented by them,
Throwing a ball to capture something. They did patent that in
without cutting away.
Yeah, 2016, 2017 or something like that. Around then, so that patent would still be going because patents last 20 years and then they expire. And this is them. They're really going hard after this. In fact, they are doing a thing that they've done in the past with other lawsuits where they are updating their patents and adding sub patents to strengthen their case, something apparently you're allowed to do in Japan. And every time they've done that and they sued someone, I haven't done it in a while. And the case where they did this is not coming to mind. I'm sorry. But when they've done this in the past, apparently they've always won because they've been able to strengthen their case so much through these sub patents.
Wait, what? Why are you allowed to change your patent after the fact to make it look like somebody copied your patent more?
Yeah, it's weird. It's definitely
seem
like
right.
addendums.
It's a
It's
bad
like
thing.
I think they're adding like more details to help people understand what the patent is. But this is definitely Nintendo taking advantage of that to bully another company with a lawsuit. Now, I say bully because if you're mad at them for infringing on your copyright, sue them for copyright infringement. They're not doing that. Clearly, I agree that those monsters look a lot like Pokemon. And while that doesn't bother me, they're doing that. And if you want to say that's copyright infringement, go ahead. But they're not doing that because they know that that would be a very hard case to win. Meanwhile, this patent case, something that they in Japan, it seems like they might have a pretty good case. Although, of course, I am no expert on patent law, especially in Japan. There's a chance they could still settle. Of course, we'll see how it goes. But Pocket Pair did say that they promised to fight against this. So we'll see how that goes.
This whole situation kind of just bums me out because when I first saw that the lawsuit was happening, I was kind of winced a little bit. I didn't like read it yet, but I was like, all right, but if it's about the character designs, like, look, regardless of how you feel about like Big Corpo and all that, artists are having their designs copied. Like
that does stink.
It's
like
not
having a
even
joke
like
stolen. Yeah, anything like that.
It's not even like, oh, we have a Wooloo on Pokemon, and then they made a ball-shaped sheep. No, it's down to the fact that they like you can look at some of these pals, and it's like, oh, that's literally Aggron's legs. You just 3D modeled the exact same thing down to the ornamentation. That's not cool, and that I assumed would be what they were going after is that copyright infringement.
If you want to have that conversation in court, I think that it's Nintendo's and the Pokemon company's right to do so, but they're not doing that.
Like people are kind of propping up like what they did as like, oh yeah, because screw this giant corporation. But no, like, human beings who want to make something cool are having their art traced over, and that's just not okay. And so I was like, okay, look, it sucks that it has to go to court. But if that sets a precedent to protect the artist involved in here, I was like, silver lining at least. What sucks is that it is copy or patent trolling that they are going
patent trolling. Yes.
Yeah, they're just trying to force their patents, which that sucks because that's a lose-lose situation for everyone involved. Because that is them trying to stomp out the competition. If they win, we can't have like Pokemon likes on Steam or whatever. There's a lot of these indie teams who are trying their best with stuff like Temtem and Cassette Beasts. That is, them trying their best to come up with an original idea that is like, this the Pokemon concept and everything. They're trying really hard. And so if they can't have that competition anymore, that sucks for everybody. But at the same time, if Pocket Pair wins this, they'll, them with their copying stuff and everything.
Pocket Pair poked the bear.
They poked the bear, and now maybe we're gonna get even more of that, and that sucks too. I just think this entire situation has become crappy, and
if I was worked with Pocket Pair, if I was a consultant or a lawyer, I would have been like, hey, you need to change this more because Nintendo's lawyers, there's a lot of them, and they get really well paid, and they like to do their work, and they'll come for you, and then this is the kind of thing where it's like Nintendo might want to set an example. Now, is all that fair? I don't care all that much. But the patent trolling does very much bother me. It is
that
the kind of thing,
is just really scummy.
Yeah, because we don't need patents for game mechanics. It is the kind of thing where it's just going to hold everyone back. If you have an idea, just make it better than everyone else who also has that idea. That's what been
the theme of like how I have been thinking of games this year, all the way back to when we were talking about Prince of Persia earlier in the year, which man, it's wild. I think that was this year.
Cool.
But I was talking about if someone just gets something right, like the idea, just take it because it's just it's a mechanic that someone solved, and so just take these Metroidvania concepts that someone else solved, and that's how we get innovation, and that's how games develop. And going against that is just again bad for everyone.
I also, the more I've thought about this case, I worry about like the miscellaneous things that the Pokemon company and Nintendo's been just like waiting to also try and take down. Like a thing that I do on the side occasionally is I love Pokemon Showdown, which is like a battle simulator site that you can play on a browser. And a lot of VGC players use it to like test out teams and just because it's still stupid hard to breed Pokemon in the actual games. And I worry like, all right, Pokemon, say they take down Pal World. What else are they going to try and take down around them?
That is something interesting because I know for a fact from hearing stuff that the Pokemon Company International, governing over the Western stuff, they are well aware of Pokemon Showdown.
Oh,
and they have,
yeah,
they are well aware, and they just choose not to do anything about it because it's not being monetized, or at least not in any significant way that I know of. Like I don't know. I don't think they have a Patreon even or anything. But no, it's just like this free thing that fans put out there. So they're like, fine, whatever. That's okay. It's always the second you start monetizing something that infringes on their stuff is when they have to get involved. Like there's a Did You Know Gaming video that came out recently talking about shut down Pokemon ROM hacks, and the connecting thread with all the major ones that got shut down was almost always those ROM hackers opened a Patreon to explicitly support development of the ROM hack, and they're like, well, no, now you're making money on our thing. You can't do that. So
you think Palworld is going to have an Avengers moment in the courtroom, and then like Temtem,
Digimon and Monster Rancher kind of walk through the door
again
on your left?
I'm curious how some of these indie developers feel about Pocket Pair, because like CEO's like an AI bro who's like talking about generating Pokemon on his Twitter and like, oh, what's the best way to make a new game? Just copy what is successful right now. It's like, I'm not sure how they feel about that guy.
I bet the people responsible for Digimon see themselves as, we did a lot more work than they did, or something like that.
Yeah, they made their own thing.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah.
Digimon Season 1 still a banger, by the way. Sorry.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Grezzo's Zelda Echoes of Wisdom started out as a dungeon creation game, and I just put this in here to say I told you so. I called that when it went for the first. Yeah, I was like, yeah, like I bet they were just going to make a Zelda Maker, and then they're like, actually, it's more fun to play this as an immersive sim or something like that. But Aonuma was like, yeah, they were making a Zelda Maker, and I was kind of playing. I'm like, hey, maybe this should just be something. Maybe we should just make this a real Zelda game instead. And I'm like, hey, good idea.
That was the Link's Awakening remake where they had like the tile dungeon.
They had the tile-based dungeon maker, right? And it seemed like they were going to expand on that soon, and that's clearly what they ended up doing, because this is Grezzo, the team that made Link's Awakening, the remaster, the remake, and so that was easy to connect the dots there. It'd be like they were working on that idea. All these things feel very similar to like how you would play stuff. Like if you were to imagine Super Mario Maker, now translate that to Zelda, it would be like, here is an item from the world, copy it, paste it down, and that's just how the game plays. So any sort of longing still for a Zelda Maker, or are you guys okay?
I mean, it'd be fine. I was never bitten by the Mario Maker bug quite as much as you were, Jeff, but I like it fine. But I would definitely take an actual bespoke new like 2D Mario game over a Mario Maker, and I would definitely take a new bespoke top-down Zelda game over a dungeon maker kind of thing. So I'm glad they pivoted here.
Yeah, I think Mario Maker taught us that the reason Nintendo's games are so good is because people don't know how to make a Mario level.
Yeah, I think Mario Maker proved
they're pretty good at it. What are you talking about?
That is a different type of game.
I think Mario Maker 2 did 5 million copies, and that just seems like the ceiling for that kind of game.
Not even Days Gone levels.
Right, exactly, which is a little bit shameful. But so Zelda Maker was going to do not as well as that, and that kind of probably made it pretty easy for them to decide against it. Speaking of Nintendo, it submitted a mysterious new wireless device to the FCC, the American Regulation for New Electronics. Nintendo recently submitted a mysterious wireless device, model number CLO001, to the FCC. This device is not the anticipated Switch 2 console. It is an entirely new product line. The diagram shows the outline of where the FCC label will be displayed on a squarish footprint with rounded off corners, which is, this is just something that might refer to no actual shape of a real object. They just need to do that for the FCC. The device is surprisingly light on wireless technology, lacking 5 gigahertz or 6 gigahertz Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, but it does have a 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi radio and a 24 gigahertz millimeter wave sensor. The 24 gigahertz millimeter wave sensor is of particular interest as it could be a radar sensor to track movement. Guesses as to what the device could be include a new gesture control interface, an upgraded dock for a device at Super Nintendo World theme parks, or even a return of the quality of life sleep tracking initiative.
It's a
baby,
watch.
Look at this.
It's a fucking watch.
It's a watch. It's an Apple Watch. Yeah, it was right.
And millimeter wave, like sort of wireless, like I don't know if that's LiDAR or whatever. That stuff would be the kind of thing you would put into a watch because tracking movement of like arms in your body and have it be a health thing.
I don't know who has to give me money for being right, but someone has to.
I'll give you $20 next time I see
No,
you.
no, no. It's not as sweet if you give it to me, Grub.
Fair
Nintendo
enough.
does.
I'll draw a picture of Miyamoto over Andrew Jackson. So there you go.
One and the same, right?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yes. Miyamoto had a lot of similar policies to Andrew Jackson.
I hope not.
Andrew Jackson loved hanging out in caves and collecting bugs as a kid.
Yeah.
24 gigahertz is a big gigahertz. That'd be very so. If people don't know, though, like the bigger or like the more frequent the waves, so that's 24 gigahertz, 24,000 times per second. The less deep it can penetrate, so it would be very poor for something like Wi-Fi, and instead it is like it's going to stop like the first time it hits any other atoms. I know. I was trying to avoid it. I was
Look
like,
forward
I
to
don't know
hearing
if I
that
gotta
one at
say
the end of a
this.
podcast tonight.
Yep. It is like, oh boy, how do I even explain this? But as soon as it hits like a body or something, it'll stop. So it would be able to sense things very close to it. What they do with that, I don't know.
Is this just to make sure we like don't play ROMs? Is it going to just be watching us?
It just electrocutes you. Yeah.
I'll be fine with that if it's a watch, damn it.
Yeah.
You allow Nintendo to police you.
Watch that.
The Minority Report, the Weenority Report. I don't know.
Multiple sources dispute Concord's $400 million budget. That was one of the things that popped off last week, that the game, as part of its a failure and as part of the director stepping down, and we don't know the fate of the game going forward, but the director stepped down recently. Reports are, hey, Sony thought this was going to be a Star Wars level success and that it cost $400 million. That number's probably way, way more than what it actually cost to make the game itself. That's not to say hundreds of million dollars aren't tied up in many of the decisions related to this game and the studio, because the studio was part of a group of studios that got a big investment of like $250 million, and then Sony acquired it, and then they spent a lot more money making it. So somewhere along the line, lots of money has been around this game, but the amount of money that actually went to the people making Concord probably was around $50 to $200 million. Either way, a big sort of fine this company's going to have to pay to take the game offline and not make any money from it. So yeah, it was a huge failure regardless, but $400 million, not quite realistic. No game has a budget that big so far.
8 years? It's a long time.
That
years.
was
Definitely expensive.
That was debunked, wasn't it?
I think 8 years is maybe a little bit of a misnomer. I bet there were people like beginning to think about it 8 years
People
ago.
playing Overwatch and beginning to think we should make one of these. Sure.
Right.
What I heard was that, the actual dev time was more like 4 years.
Yeah, right. When it actually started in
8
earnest.
years would just be kind of wild, even with everything else going on.
Yep. 8 years is a big number too. Sega unveils new Like a Dragon game, Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii.
So sick. I love this company.
Yeah.
Sega and Ryoga Gotoku.
Close enough.
Close enough. All
give it
right.
that.
RTG, it's okay.
Have announced Like a Dragon, Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii, an action-adventure game starring Goro Majima. The game will release on February 28th, 2025 for various platforms. Heard it's about 1.5 times the size of The Man Who Lost His Name, The Man Who Erased His Name.
Erased his name.
Yes. So, yeah, another one of these. That is, it's exciting. It looks really fun. It is.
Yeah.
It's Majima in Hawaii, with a couple other extra islands, including one that is Madlanta or something like that. Madlantis.
Go on.
Oh, two very different things there. I was like,
Either way, I'm down.
Yeah. Like a crazy Atlantis, like gambling, like debauchery zone in the ocean. And that looks like a lot of fun. But yeah, I'm ready for this in a way that like I was not ready for The Man Who Erased His Name or anything else before playing Infinite Wealth.
It's so impressive
Now I'm
how
ready for
many
this.
games they release. It seems like just very recently we had Man Erased His Name. There's that one that took place like in more like feudal Japan, right? Not too long ago. It was like a remake. So you had that not that long ago. And then 8, Infinite Wealth, and now this. And like I think they're very smart about maybe reusing certain things, but not at a point where it feels tiring. At a point where it's like, oh, cool, we get more of this thing. I was just impressed of how through constant support, Yakuza Like a Dragon is this franchise that like seemed kind of small and now just is very important as kind of a something of a cornerstone right now.
Right.
Grub, would you have been as excited for this if Infinite Wealth didn't click with you as much as it did?
No way. I'm definitely down for this because for as much as I liked Infinite Wealth and I did see some of these characters, Goro Majima has always been one that's like, that guy seems cool, but I've not played a ton of games where I've interacted with him. So it's like, well, now I'm going to get a whole game of him just doing his thing, although apparently he has amnesia as a pirate. But whatever, I'm still like, the character looks great.
Classic. What's the gameplay? Is it more the turn-based style or more the beat-em-up style?
It's action style.
Yeah,
yes,
it's
it's not turn-based at all. It doesn't seem like.
That seems to be what they go for with these spin-offs, huh?
Right, and I think they want to keep both things alive. So it's like, and the turn-based is working really well now for the main series, so they can do other things with these spin-offs. Yeah, they have a real handle on how they make games, and clearly that is. And they've said this in interviews. I know they talked to Gene Park about this, but like, we don't get why so many other developers reboot everything with every game. We're going to treat Hawaii like a movie set, and we're going to reuse it for our next several games, and it's just a really good idea.
Why do other companies not just also have, a main line that's turn-based and then these spin-offs over here be action-based? I don't know why more people don't do that.
Sean, that's silly talk.
Yeah.
Come on.
The kids won't like it. They don't like turn-based.
Yeah, we gotta make our thing like an action game. It's gonna attract all sorts of new players. It's gonna be really exciting. Meanwhile, most popular action video game of recent time is Elden Ring.
and then the other most popular game recently was Baldur's Gate 3. So turn-based, turn-based doing just fine.
Turn-based and complicated action RPGs. Doing great out there.
Okay. Addressing the elephant in the room. Square Enix had one action hit on their hands with 15. They're just like, everything needs to be this now. It's like, nope, it's
Excuse me, not just 15. It's a certain fun trilogy that's not just a trilogy. It's a
Remember Me?
No, it's a maelstrom of video game series. Kingdom
Super
Hearts.
Mario Brothers?
Kingdom Hearts.
Oh, yeah.
Who?
Some people are I see are hoping for a Final Fantasy 13 trilogy remaster.
I've seen that buzz.
I think they're just trying to manifest that. I wouldn't hate that though.
That would probably get reassessed in a much more positive way.
It'll happen eventually.
Yes.
I don't know if it's happening like this year or next year.
Will they market it as lightning can strike thrice?
Yes.
Cut
the check.
I would want to see them remake 15 into Versus 13 before seeing like remaster 13.
It seems like a lot of like what was going to be Versus 13 is maybe going to Kingdom Hearts 4. Honestly,
that's so fucking weird.
It's
that's
funny,
the
right?
weirdest thing they could have done.
Yeah, there you go though.
Money,
wait.
Please.
Wasn't Versus 13 what 15 turned into?
Yes.
Yeah,
so you see Noctis in the
Yeah.
city, like fighting a bunch of guards, and it looks kind of like Devil May Cry and stuff. That turned into 15 eventually, where they turned into like the open world game and stuff.
I'm kind of with you, Jeff. To me, I'm like, well, isn't 15 just what Versus 13 is? Apparently, like that early version of Versus 13 was so different. Some people are still holding a candle.
People
for
got
even
very
just that.
attracted to the trailer and like the idea of like an urban Final Fantasy kind of.
Right.
Yeah.
That sucks. Get over that.
What's something Jeff likes? We need to shit on
Mud
something
Runners.
this dude likes. Yeah.
How about what if Mud Runners was suddenly you play as?
I'm just gonna be hazing you on every stream next week.
I'm glad you guys don't like Mud Runners. That means more for me.
Yeah, just play as an anime girl instead.
Okay, well, listen, we put waifus in Mud Runners. Yeah, maybe you guys would play it.
Well, I'm all in now if there are.
After Dead Rising, Capcom asks players if they want more deluxe remasters. And there's people out there going, no, definitely not. Like, yeah, of course we do.
Yeah, please. It seems like I haven't played it yet. I'm waiting for October. People seem very happy with this remaster.
I played the preview, and it was really well done. So, yeah.
Dave was playing on stream and seemed very into it.
It's not a remaster. This is a remake. It's in RE Engine now. Like, this is like... Again, the same game again, but just completely overhauled. This is more effort that I think they're giving credit for.
It's a very least a big boy remaster.
I wonder what else though. Like, do you think people would still be excited about Lost Planet, which is also
that's what I was going to ask, because like if we're talking about Dead Rising, we are maybe talking about the 360 era.
Yes,
yeah,
which is a weird era for Capcom because they did have some hits.
I would replay Bionic Commando, but I don't think they're going to do it.
Yeah, it's like that or Dark Void. I don't really think they're going to.
No, definitely not Dark Void. Yeah,
sadly.
Didn't they delist Dark Void recently? I think they just done with that.
Pretty recently delisted. I had to go and buy it before that happened.
Like the original DMC trilogy again?
DMC will get its remasters.
I think
although everyone
DMC1
hates 2.
Yeah, a lot of people will disagree with this, but I think DMC1 getting a remake, or even if it is a deluxe remaster like this where you add stuff to it, I think that'd be cool because DMC1 very clearly being that Resident Evil game it was supposed to be, I think is inconsistent with where even just 2 end up going from there.
I mean, we know what everybody wants, or at least what they're loudest about is Dino Crisis, so maybe you should just go ahead and do that.
There's Dino Crisis, Beautiful Joe.
Joe, Piano 3,
Piano 3.
Here's the freaking Legends Legacy collection, dude.
They did. Yeah, Magma Legends. I don't want remakes. Remaster collection is completely fine. Those games already look and sound gorgeous. Onimusha 1 had a remaster not too long ago.
Yes,
that was the only one.
Yep.
That was the only one out of that series. Ashura's Wrath. There's a 360 one. There you go, Chad.
You don't need to do anything with that. That's just a movie.
Ashura's Wrath. Oh man, I haven't thought of that one in a hot moment.
I love Okami.
Okami, yeah, but isn't Okami already like? There's an HD Okami. I don't know what else you need to do to Okami.
I don't know. Maybe make the ink more inky.
And it runs at like 4K internally on like the PS3 or however that ended up working out. That game is wild.
Yeah, Beautiful Joe would be a pretty easy slam dunk.
Yeah, I would like that a lot.
You have 2 games there. You can put Red Hot Rumble or whatever in there. Like those games already look pretty good. You just remaster them.
He like never talks about Beautiful Joe. Like he was in Marvel 3, and that's like all he's ever got.
He's in Tatsunoko versus Capcom. Even,
yeah, true.
Yeah, I bet they bring back Beautiful Joe for remasters. I don't think they make new ones or anything like that. But
I think Dead Rising was the best one to do first, though. Of these,
sure.
I mean, they could also just do Dead Rising 2, and that's easy enough. I think people still like 2. I like 3. I think Dead Rising 3 is a very underrated launch game. That was a good Xbox One launch game. I know by 4 everyone was over it.
Yeah, but I think generally people like 3.
I don't think any of those games are like bad. It's just people are
rough on
at various points.
Yeah. People are, I don't know why, but people seem down on 4 for whatever reason.
I personally kind of don't need much more than Dead Rising 1, but I get it for people who
kept playing stuck
with the series. Is Cristiano Ronaldo coming to Fatal Fury?
Tell me, leaker man, what's going on here?
He tweeted something exciting in the making, and let me click on this link and see what and then it says... There's a video that starts with SNK. What the hell? Hashtag Fatal Fury? Is Cristiano Ronaldo in Fatal Fury?
I don't know.
For the audio listeners who can't watch this video right now, it's just a video of a soccer field that zooms in on the tunnel they walk out of, and at the end is a door, a metal door. It says Fatal Fury on it, has the logo on it, and just like someone's breaking the door down and you don't see who it is.
He's definitely kicking a soccer ball at it, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm wondering. Like, what? Is he going to be a character? Is he going to be a skin for someone else? Like, what the hell is going on
It'd be weird if he's a character. I guess it could happen. I mean, incredible what all that Saudi money can do for you, huh?
Yeah, apparently.
Hey, Terry out today on Street Fighter 6.
Yes, Terry's out today. That's right. It's one of the news stories. I kind of was like, we'll
check that out.
Cool. All right. Let me last check, make sure I didn't miss anything. I think we're all good. Jan, the show is back over to you. News is done.
News is done, and so is this segment. We're going to hit you back with some emails right after this break. These are the emails for the show. Emails. Bombcast at giantbomb.com is the email address to send your emails to. You can send an email about virtually any and everything. You got a fun little quiz you want to send our way. You got a grievance. Someone treats us like their personal Twitter feed, so they just send every single update about their lives to the Bombcast email address. I read any and everything. So please send them our way. If you got a complaint, you want to gas someone up, you just want to type the word fixins to me, then just do it. Send all your fixins to bombcast at giantbomb.com. Yes, that's right. I see all the feet pics you send, and that's all we're gonna say about that. First email comes from Jerry in Wisconsin. Bombers. Last week on the podcast, the interim crew was talking about Astro Bot having a Days Gone character in it. They then had to have chat remind them of said character's name.
Deacon St. John?
As if they forgot Deacon St. John existed. They also made fun of the man's name.
Yeah.
What are you going to do to remedy this St. John erasure? I can forgive Turbo, Shawn, and Nikki for not knowing about him, as they were likely children when the game came out. But Tam and Mitch should have known better than to forget the premier PS4 mascot.
No, then to forgot the premier PS4 mascot. Sorry, I had to point out.
I don't want to throw the term fake-ass gamers around, but at the minimum, some more reverence towards a system seller like Days Gone should be appreciated next time. Follow-up question. What does Sony greenlight first? Days Gone 2 or a new Ape Escape?
Oh, I thought they were going to say Days Gone 2 or Days Gone 3. That would have been a good capper to that.
I tuned out of Days Gone right after that first trailer. Like, I had already never liked zombie stuff, and Days Gone was like so far.
You just hate to see a man love his wife and riding or he rides his hog or whatever.
Yeah,
I do.
Oh God, yeah. So just like the idea, especially like when Sony already had Last of Us as a zombie thing. It's like, here's more zombies, and I was just like, wow, I could not care less about this. So I couldn't pay attention to a second of Days Gone. So I think I played one demo at one time, and it wasn't very interesting. Look, maybe I'll give it another shot again. I don't know. The guy being a weird jerk kind of throws me off at all too, though, to be honest.
Sure is weird.
Yeah, is weird.
I've never played it, obviously, but like, is this game not problematic? Like, I just can't see a universe where like this isn't just a real jerk, weird guy doing weird things. Like,
I bet it is pretty like tame on all that front. I bet it's just like it's just a zombie game. I think it's probably just
it's still a PlayStation 4 game, like published by Sony. It's probably pretty.
Could only get away with so much.
Chill, yeah.
It's no Daryl Dixon, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And Ape Escape before Days Gone 2.
Oh, of course, yeah.
God, like, come on. Are we allowed to talk about that at least by now, you think?
We streamed that, yeah. We
like, come on. That Ape Escape level in Astro Bot was so freaking fun. I'm dying for... Even if it's like... I mean, that's a series that would be great for a that Crash Spyro style remake situation. Remake a bunch of games, just make them prettier because they're already fun. You don't have to do a whole lot there. I'd love that.
Me too.
Jerry in Wisconsin ends their email with #freakers, #ride my hog, #deek.
That's the other thing too. All the it's one thing with these other franchises that refuse to call things zombies. These are the most zombie-ass looking zombies ever, and they're freakers. God, no! Like I could just never hear the word freaker and not get violently angry.
Next email comes from Dylan from
Dib.
Not Dib. With some indie recs. Hey, Bombcast crew. It's been an incredible year for games, especially indie games. I've been having a ton of fun trying a bunch of indies this year and have some true gems that have been overlooked, in my opinion. I want to offer some recommendations for members of the crew that I think you should check out before the end of the year. Jan, I think you'd really enjoy Shogun Showdown. This came out recently, and it's a unique spin on roguelite tactics. It reminds me of Into the Breach, but is more simplified on a 2D plane. Despite the simplification, the combat has a ton of depth to it. Okay. Dan, as a fan of WarioWare, you should check out Fish-like. It's only $5 on Steam, and it really captures the micro game fun of WarioWare. Grub, Nine Souls is a phenomenal Metroidvania with Sekiro-inspired combat. Oh, I didn't know that. I don't think I need to say any more here.
I know. I need to play it. I know.
Bacalar Fallen Aces is a crime noir FPS that is a throwback in the style of some 90s shooters. It has some really cool style. I think you dig.
Has Bacalar played Fallen Aces?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
He talked about. I played it. And
I talked about
I think
it.
he would dig it.
Yeah.
Minotti Yellow Taxi Goes Vroom is 3D platforms with a retro style.
It is funny that mine sounds like a game for babies. I know what game they're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of that episode of Fire Escape where Mary's trying to have this very like deep emotional conversation. Dan's like, "Screw that! I want to talk about Yellow Taxi Goes Vroom."
You were a taxi that drives around the stage doing platforming. It's really stylish, and the soundtrack goes harder than you'd expect.
I think Jeff played this on a UP or something, and I looked at him like, "Hey, that looks great. I would love to play that." So you're right. I definitely do before.
It's cool.
Before the end of the
yeah,
year.
I play this one too, and it's very good.
I think any of you would like these games, really, but these are ones I thought might fit your specific taste. Some honorable mentions I think are worth checking out as well. Angerfoot, One Bitten BTN Bosses.
Big Ten Network.
Yeah. Hey. Hey, look at this. This game, Yellow Taxi Goes Vroom, is 40% off on Steam. It's $10. I will buy it right now because somebody I don't know on the internet told me to.
Thanks,
cool.
Dylan.
Mike, it's very like Saturn and PS1 coded. So
hell yeah.
Yeah.
Go Mecha Ball, Click Olding, I Am Your Beast. Enjoy your gaming. Dylan from Canal, Fulton.
Pool is a small pool-inspired physics puzzler where you combine balls of similar size to create even bigger ones. I am getting this now.
Apparently, I already own this game. Actually, I don't need to buy it. Thank you, though.
Oh, right. That's the one where Jeff asked for a code on Twitter, and you wrote his coattails to get a code.
Oh yeah. You gave me a code. Well, I should play this video game.
All right.
You guys remember what Go Mecha Ball is? Because I keep seeing it. Okay.
It's on Game Pass, I think.
Pinball-style physics mixed with an arsenal of devastating weapons.
Yeah. It's like
devastating, eh?
Isometric Hades-like, if I recall correctly.
Oh yeah, look at this. Okay.
You mean okay? I see. I feel like I've seen this. Looks pretty cool.
Oh, it's twin stick. It's a twin stick shooter Hades. Okay, that's that's my stuff.
Mini Shoot Adventure is still a very good game from this year, by the way.
Absolutely, yeah.
I
Top
am
10
not
for me.
sure that out. Oh yeah. Yep. Good year for games. Turns out.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Owen writes in. So the Giant Bomb crew and friends fall into the morphing grid with a specific console game controller. As a result, that controller is now a morpher with signature weapons and Zord based on games from this console. It's morphin' time. What console are you shouting out? What color ranger are you? What would your Zord look like? And what would be some weapons you'd regularly call upon? As an example, doesn't have to be red. NES, Red Ranger, who uses Mario's Fire Flower and Zelda's Master Sword. The Zord in the shape of Rob the Robot. Owen from White Bear Lake, Minnesota.
Atomic Purple GameCube.
That's cute.
DS, and the stylus comes out as a sword, and I could summon the Elite Beat Agents to. Can they be my Zord?
Yeah. White Ranger PS1 Classic. And then I have a shield, and it's the flip-up lid of the PS1.
Yeah, flip-up lid, yeah.
I can't shut up about that pink PS2, so you know what? I'll just grab that one, and my eye toy turns into something somehow.
There you go.
Or
Laser cannon.
People.
Or orbital laser cannon.
I wouldn't use my bongos to pat upon us to victory.
I
don't know.
On GameCube?
Well, but look, to Donkey Kong Jungle beat us to victory.
I don't like any of that. I'm gonna just read the next email now. The next one is about ads, and I am in I'm in some control of the ads that you hear on the podcast sometimes. I've been getting ads for things in Ireland when I listen to the Bombcast. I live in the U.S. East Coast and have no connection with Ireland. I just want to say thank you, and I hope it doesn't change, because these ads sound so much more pleasant than the normal U.S. ads I get.
Yeah, it happens when Lexi falls in the wires.
Yeah.
I occasionally will listen to a podcast, and the algorithm be like, "We know you speak Spanish," and I'm like, "I do not. I don't know what you think I'm going to do with these ads. I don't understand a single thing that's being said." But yeah, keep giving me 15 Spanish ads per podcast, whatever.
Yeah, I guess we can shed some light on that. When you listen to a podcast on almost any service, you we have zero control over what ads you get. We just
We can choose to eliminate some categories of ads,
Yes.
like political ads.
broad categories here.
But
yeah, like just
people can still
political.
lie and say this is not a political ad, so they can still sneak in
Yes.
there.
So generally speaking, we just say these are where the ad breaks are. This is roughly how many the person should get here, and then the service just does their thing. So yeah.
Yeah,
So
and
if you
as
get
you
any-
download it, it algorithmically inserts it at that moment.
Exactly, it just splices them in. We don't do anything about that. So if you get some weird ads, sorry, we didn't do that.
And last email of the show, and I appreciate everyone that writes a lovely email in to bombcast@giantbomb.com is the email address. I appreciate it and I read everything. This email comes from Kellen. Hello, bombers. On a previous episode, Tam believed that Bloody Roar likely had a huge impact, if not being the start of the furry culture. And I find it interesting that Mike Minotti sat silently when he is fully aware of the following films existing way before the late 90s. Bloody Roar, that only sold 400,000 copies, was released. Robin Hood, Beauty and the Beast, The Lion King, Jungle Book, A Goofy Movie, and many others.
Are we saying Disney fully responsible for furries?
Of course. Who do you think? Who do you think
100%.
had the market cornered on anthropomorphic animals? Right.
Jeff, you are wildly attracted to Nala from The Lion King. We all know
That's
this.
not what it is. So you know how to put me on
Wildly.
blast like that?
Yeah,
Jesus.
it's wild.
Wildly attracted.
look.
I just noticed some things is all. I noticed what them eyes do. That's it.
Maybe my best joke of all time is when I ask you, Jeff, is Nala the reason you insist on getting fucked by the lions every year? God,
That's good.
I'm so proud of that one.
That's good.
Yeah, definitely something there.
Look,
yeah.
I wasn't about to correct my best friend Tam. I gotta stay on his good side this one. I would definitely say Robin Hood and probably Gadget from Rescue Rangers are probably much stronger cornerstones of the start of furry culture than
You're just
Bloody
projecting.
Roar.
I would put it up to Tailspin. Tailspin's up there because of a certain companion.
Yeah, I know you're not wrong. I think Gadget probably did. Why am I having this conversation?
Expert.
We're one of those
you tell
podcasts
us.
now.
Yeah, Lola Bunny is the one Warner Brothers crime,
Lola
right?
Bunny was
Sally
a little bit later.
Acorn, Sally
Yeah.
Acorn and Sonic.
Amen,
it's Lola
brother.
Bunny. It's Crystal and Star Fox. And it's Rouge the Bat, the Mount
it's-
Rushmore furry characters.
No, and then
Pregnant
it's
Sonic. Sorry.
it's Bugs Bunny when he dresses up as an opera character. That one.
Sure.
episode.
Very influential.
What's Opera
yes.
Doc? A classic.
The Venn diagram between Disney perverts and Furies is very likely mostly the same circle. Just some non-Apple food for thought. All
Thank
the
you.
best, Kellen.
I appreciate
Kellen.
that. I
That about-
appreciate that.
Does it for emails this week, gentlemen? What did we learn today? Ooh, we learned about egg, and that every gimmick gone. I don't remember what egg actually.
I already
stands
forgot.
for.
Every
lied.
gimmick, gotta get them all.
That's right. Don't sue us, Pokemon. We also learned about third-party bongos and the dangers of keeping them around. We learned that patents eventually expire, but you can add a bunch of shit to them in Japan. And speaking about Japan, we learned that August 1st is coffee and milk day. So go ahead and celebrate, folks. We also learned that Nintendo loves to litigate. And that's about it of what we learned today because I forgot to keep writing things down.
Learn
Folks,
that every day.
what do we got going on the rest of this week? It was going to be a funky week, but I'm not going to where I'm going. So I think it'll be mostly normal. No
Mostly
Blood Club tomorrow because Dan is still traveling.
But when he gets back, we're going to try to do it this week still.
Why don't we
He's
just take the week off?
Okay, talk to Dan about it. He's pretty insistent on, oh, I get what you're doing here. No, we're doing it on Friday.
He took me very seriously there. You seemed annoyed with me too. I was like, oh
Well,
no,
so,
Jeff,
yeah,
it's a
I was
bit.
like, Dan really wants to do it. And you, well, why don't you? And then I'm like, oh, yeah, I know why he doesn't want to do
Alone in
it.
the dark.
Game Mess Mornings popping off for the rest of the week, Grub, yes?
Yeah, Game Us Morning's back tomorrow, then Thursday and Friday. I want to play Frostpunk 2 on the website.
Yeah.
Do too. I downloaded that game and it was very big.
Yes, so we'll make some hay out of that. I think we kind of vaguely plan to like do another sort of catch up grab bag stream. Should probably do that maybe on Thursday or something like that. We'll slot all this stuff in here. But now that Jan's sticking around, we'll be able to figure this out more solidly today and tomorrow and let you all know.
Also, if you're listening live or you're listening to the archive before the State of Play has happened, we are talking over that today So stay tuned. We'll be reacting and gabbing
And
as per
shellacking.
usual.
3 p.m.
Voicemail
Pacific.
dump truck is also happening on Thursday. And folks, get your hard hats ready. Get the jackhammers out, baby. Get the clippers out, because next week is Infrastructure Week here at giantbomb.com.
I'm so excited.
Finally.
We're also gonna have
Finally!
we're also gonna have a very special guest, I believe, next week on the Giant Bombcast. Not quite infrastructure related, but I guess. You know what? Everything is
We
infrastructure.
can ask him
related.
about like the supply chain and stuff like that. And
He probably
Yeah.
knows a lot about infrastructure.
What's it
Probably
like
does.
making a book? You know, stuff like that.
he knows
Who
more
is
than
it?
Dan does, who needs it defined for him every single time we say infrastructure week. So that'll be fun.
And we'll reveal who that guest is next Tuesday.
Oh, it's a surprise.
It's a surprise. Duh, Mike, come on.
I don't know.
know.
I'm anti-surprise. Everything in my family's a surprise. It's like, oh, we're gonna take her on to dinner for her birthday. It's a surprise. Like, why is it gotta be a surprise? Just tell her we're taking her to dinner.
Mike Benatti,
Yes. What's up?
where can folks find you on the internet?
Don't find him. Don't encourage this.
Everything's a surprise, and it's always annoying. My name's Mike Benatti. You can find me on gamesbeat.com, on Twitter and Twitch as Tokoto. Been playing a lot of Souls games lately. Gonna be doing some more stuff here soon. Playing some spooky games soon for Halloween, like Resident Evil 3 Remake for the Game Club. Probably some Dino Crisis and some I definitely want to play that Dead Rising remastered. Absolutely.
John, do you want
If
folks
Mikey
to
ain't
find you on the
happy
internet?
or also surprised, nobody's happy.
Surprises
Or
are bad.
surprised?
Yeah, they can find me. Twitter.com @TurboShawn _SHAWN. And you can find me here, just doing stuff every day.
Shawn, what if you played TCG Card Shop Simulator on the website?
Oh yeah, did you
I
see
looked
this?
at that. I looked at
People,
that.
yep.
Snowbike Mike was playing that. I think it looks.
I'll play it, and you
I'll
can
play
tell me
it.
how what I'm doing wrong. Okay,
Sure,
Mike can
well,
play
you
it.
can play it. Theming aside, it looks like just another sim. I don't know.
Sure.
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, sure, you
You
play
can
it.
sell
I'll...
boxes and plushies.
Yeah, me and Jan will talk over it. There you
Yeah,
go.
perfect.
There we go.
Can we just watch Snowbike Mike play it because it's very fun. he got very into. He was on a first name basis. He had nicknames for all of his customers. He was
Oh,
really
that had to be
talking out the
good.
process of what was selling and what wasn't selling. It was
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah, that's right. We're just gonna react over kind of funny videos. That's the
It was,
new
I think
model
it was
moving
his
forward.
personal stream.
Oh, even better then. There we go.
We're just gonna watch his VODs.
Jeff Grubb, do you want folks to find you on the internet? I don't know.
I don't know. Go to me and Mike are gonna do Last of the Nintendo tonight. Watch that 9 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah.
That's right, folks. And hey, you know, I love you. Thanks for the patience of all the miscellaneous things going on in and around the website. I'd like to say we'll resume to schedule. I can't say words because I'm still trying
what
to
would
think.
you like to say?
Lord
Tell me how
knows,
deep the
I
millimeter
know.
wave penetrates.
Jan's running out of tape. Wrap it up.
That's right. I hit the buzz ball too soon in the day.
Oh, no.
We're
What?
gonna see you next week for another. Oh, wrong song.
What the hell is
Let's run it
Megalopolis?
back. Let's go.
Next week, Bombcast. See you then. I've been Chad. He's been Jeff. He's been Mike. He's been Turbo Shawn. You've been beautiful. I love you. Lozenges are cough drops. That's another thing
Lozenges.
we learned. Biggie
You say lots of
balls, Margaritaville.
Final Fantasy IX remake guaranteed.
Let's
Don't do
go.
that.
Did I take my medicine tonight? I don't remember
Oh, shit.
because I don't have the stuff. Holy smokes, I've had menthol. Menthol's a fun feeling that it unlocks in all of you and me. Shoot Shoot Rocket is a game. My Scout, everything is fine. Here is my dog. It was your birthday over the weekend. I love you. Mwah. I'm not falling apart. I swear to God. Fade into black now.
Lozenges.